हेलो गाइस, वेलकम बैक टू माय स्ट्रीम। आप लोग का स्वागत है पर्सनल लाइव स्ट्रीम में। गाइस सब लोग जल्दी ज्वाइन कर लो स्ट्रीम को। हेलो फ्लेम, वेलकम टू माय स्ट्रीम। धीराज, वेलकम टू माय स्ट्रीम ब्रदर।
There's a lot of things
गाइस
that can be
मैच
done
अभी
right
स्टार्ट
here
होने में
by
टाइम
these
है यार।
teams. It's not just consistency; it's playing it safe right now. Though from what we're seeing, elimination they're trying to catch up, but it's placement that they position-wise that they need to do right now. Going back to the basics, just finding the final circle. That's one thing that everyone is underestimating.
क्या लगता है गाइस आज आज कौन खेल के जाएगा? हम्म, अभी तो टाइम है भाई, स्टार्ट होने में कितना टाइम है? 10 मिनट लगता लगेगा। सारे प्लेयर
Pressure's going to start to build up too. We might end up seeing teams parking the bus in a way kind of like England was able to do yesterday, and we saw what happened. They didn't end up qualifying. So you don't want to do that, and you don't want to wait until the end because the pressure will be there, and you're going to have teams just doing crazy things. One team that might end up doing just that is none other than GunDynasty. Let's see what they had to say.
Hello everyone, I'm Yunsul and welcome to day 2. Right here, I'm next to Vega from GunDynasty, and here's our Zippo, our translator today. So, I heard this is the first time Spanish joined EWC26 in Free Fire, right? And I wonder, how do you guys feel, and have you guys prepared everything to get into the top 4 today?
¿Han escuchado que esta es la primera vez que un equipo de habla hispana está en una final de Free Fire en EWC? ¿Cómo te sientes al respecto y cómo te has estado preparando para el día de hoy?
Pues nos sentimos con confianza, siento que nos va a ir muy bien hoy, mejor que incluso ayer, y que todo esto se trata de preparación y de cómo están saliendo las cosas.
We are really confident, we have worked really hard to get there, and I think this is all about how much you've prepared and that good things are going to happen to you.
Wow, awesome. Sending a lot of lucks for you guys today. And also, one more question I wanted to ask. Do you guys feel pressure when you step into this battlefield? Because there are so many strong teams in our Group A today. And how will you guys manage all of it?
¿Sientes algún tipo de presión cuando entras en la arena? Porque hay un montón de equipos muy fuertes. En el caso sea, ¿cómo haces para lidiar con esa presión?
No, como equipo y como jugador individualmente no sentimos ninguna presión, sentimos que estamos jugando como si estuviésemos en casa, como si estuviésemos en un día cualquiera, y que esto se trata solamente de confianza en uno mismo.
As a player and as a team, we don't feel any pressure at all. We feel like we're playing like at home, like it is any other day. So I think this is all about how much you believe in yourself.
Oh my god, this is so great because, you know, when you play Honest Answer, it makes me feel so good about him. So thank you so much for your interview, and also thank you to our Zippo as well, and good luck to you today, GunDynasty. Thank you for your listening, and now let's explore more in EWC26.
Well, GunDynasty, we're expecting that same attitude today. Not being nervous, not feeling any
गाइस
pressure.
जो बंदा स्ट्रीम पर है सब लोग लाइक शेयर एंड सब्सक्राइब कर लेना यार।
Was none
अभी तो
other
मैचेस
than
स्टार्ट होने में टाइम है।
champions, EVOS, and they started off hot. They were able to get a Booyah on the second match, but I know today, for the PS5 story of the day, EVOS, we want to see what they're going to be able to do.
Yeah, of course, because if we go back to what happened on day 1, the highest score EVOS had was in game 2, I think. They got 12 placement points and then 17 elimination points, and that was the best of EVOS, the best game that they showcased the whole day. And I think the teamwork between Russia and the other supports are working so much better towards the end. And this actually the thing that separates EVOS from RRQ, if I can say that. They do have the mentality to stay calm, to bounce back from the mistakes that they have, whereas RRQ usually takes a bit more time. It takes them a bit more time to be comfortable, to be okay with the mistakes that they did. And EVOS, that is definitely the reigning champion mentality that they have right there. It was a slow start, but then again, after a few bad calls, they finally started to climb up the ladder and continuously, consistently get the points that they needed.
And something to keep in mind too with this squad is that they are currently in 4th place, right? So I'm hoping that today they're not gonna start feeling the pressure right off the bat. They showed yesterday what they were
आज
able to
इंडियन
do
टीम
at the
कुछ
start.
कर देना तब
You
मजा
see
आएगा,
them
ऐसे तो नहीं
possibly
मजा आ रहा भाई.
crumbling, since they're right there in
इंडियन
the
टीम नहीं
4th
खेल रही,
place,
इसकी वजह से
going directly to the finals or going to survival.
Actually, it's quite the opposite.
कल
I'm
तो
still
कल
pretty
तो
sure
थग ने
that
भी
EVOS
ट्रोल कर
has
दिया
what it
ही
takes to go
थग
straight
और
to the
जॉन्टे
next
ने.
stage without having to go through the survival stage. I mean, 111 points, 70 elimination points. That is quite big for EVOS. And I'm not saying that just because I'm Indonesian, obviously, but I do think they have what it takes. Again, it's a slow start, but I think that's where it's different, because when we see the way of the other teams are playing, the other Southeast Asian teams are playing, they came out
क्या हो रहा
very
अभी?
strong. I mean, let's say Buriram United Esports, they bring out the big guns from the very get-go, but EVOS, they try to at least read the situations first. They try to be comfortable with it, and that's exactly what they did. They got better and better and better each game.
One team, Neptune, that's going to be hunting them down, making sure that they get within those top 4 is going to be none other than LYON, the Brazilian squads. It's not just Southeast Asia here. Brazilian squads have been able to show up, and I know you're keeping a close eye on what LYON is going to be doing in regards to their game skills.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, especially now, you did point out EVOS with the numbers. LYON is now 4 points behind him. So there's a lot of things that they can
Guys,
do
जो
right
भी
now,
stream
and
पे आ रहा है
yes,
सब लोग like कर दो यार.
but just
And
look
channel में आ तो
up
channel को
what
subscribe
they
कर लेना
did
भाई.
in VAL. They're one of the teams who managed to bring in the
अभी
8-1-2-4 combination.
10 मिनट लगेगा start होने में, I think so.
So with that alone, you can see
3:30 बजे से start
they're
होंगे
not going
matches.
aggressive. They're just playing it safe. And I guess with that, they're just, as you mentioned, testing water. So this is where they might switch it up to a more aggressive play when it comes to active skills, as well as position-wise. But hopefully that will not be read by other teams.
You know what? You cursed the team yesterday. Today, we're going to blast
my
that team.
God.
Which team are we going to blast? I need a quick answer, though. Lace?
Oh my God.
That's it, quick. Okay, Neptune.
I need to go back to me. I
I'll go
kind of
with
don't want to say
Buriram.
anything. Oh my God.
Buriram?
No, I'm just gonna
She's gonna go with an Indonesian team. Okay, let's just play it safe here. Let us know in the comments below who you're gonna be going for, because day 2 of Free Fire at EWC26 starts now.
ये let's go start हो गया guys. मैचेस start हो रहा है.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to our second day of Free Fire at EWC here in Paris.
The stage is set and our teams have their sights on the grand finals, but the only obstacle in their way, just 11 of the best teams in the world.
After only 6 games
Barone.
today, we will have the name of our top 4 teams who will qualify directly to Saturday.
But remember, Luti, this is the Esports World Cup, so our eliminated teams, their keys must be crushed. And so the battle at the bottom today, it's gonna get spicy. So without any further delay, let's introduce your first 12 teams to the main stage to kick us off, starting with Aurora Gaming.
Team Apex Gaming.
भाई सब सैड है भाई, इतना कुछ खतरनाक करा नहीं है
The
तो क्या
reigning
ही.
club champions, Team Falcons. AG.AL.
Buriram United Esports.
Your defending champions of EWC, EVOS Esports.
Demon Germans' pride.
DRS Gaming.
Paradox Gaming.
DRS तो नेपाल की टीम है भाई. TRS. हेलो पांडे जी.
Titan Esports Club.
Bro, who was your inspiration?
Loud.
My
Snickers.
inspiration is Nunu Master.
And
You know
finally,
Nunu Master.
GunDynasty. Don't forget, if you want to survive, your only goal is to avoid these bottom two spots.
Words couldn't be truer. 12 teams enter the Gadia City grid, but only 10 will make
Guys,
it
जो भी बंदा
out
रहा है, सब
alive.
लोग
The
like, share and
stakes
subscribe
just
कर दो
got
guys,
higher.
जल्दी.
So it is time to make your move. It is time for day 2 of Free Fire at the Esports World Cup. Four of the most dominant teams in the world will step onto the Gadia City grid for the first time today. Teams who swept through their regions and left their opponents in the dust. But now they stand at the base of a mountain faced with an almost impossible climb. Well, let me take this opportunity to remind you that this is your chance to instill the fear of combat into your opponents. Don't hold back, don't hesitate, and trust in your teammates.
The damage comes through, and Loud, all they have to do is just rush forward, and they're completely surrounded from every single angle. And Loud, once again, a booyah!
MIBR.LOS, they turn it around, and Bobs is the last one standing. It's going to be very difficult, but also Bobs struggling unholy along with the help of MIBR.LOS, and it's going to be MIBR.LOS getting the very first booyah.
अलारी तो भाई कल क्या बकचोदी हो गया लोली के साथ. वो लोग अच्छा कर सकते थे, पता है.
Looking for the final player, Kororo, looking for that recovery, and they won't be denied as Buriram pulls away the third booyah of the day to take the #1 spot on the leaderboard. And LYON are losing players one after another, and as that happens, even Dix gets
Jones
eliminated.
Sport
on
was
game
good,
scale
I
as the
think,
last man
of all
standing.
time. Yes,
And it
yes,
is gonna
sir.
be MIBR.LOS getting the final booyah of Group B's day 1.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to
we
Free
like-
Fire at
Wait,
Esports
बंद कर
World
दे,
Cup
बंद कर दे.
26 here in Paris.
बंद कर दे, मम्मी,
France.
सुबह चल रही है.
And you know what day it is? It's day 2 of the group stage, which means that hopes will be crushed and dreams will continue to be built for the survivors. We have 12 teams from Group A, but only 10 will move on forward to either the survival stage or the grand finals, depending on their standings. My name is Husky, and I'm joined by Lucifer here with some 6-7 performances from some of these teams, but that's not the spot you want to be in. You want to be in the top 4 because you want to skip the survival stage, which means you skip 10 games.
Exactly, it's going to be very crucial that you get yourself out of this grinder of a survival stage. Well, we say there are 10 games, but then those 10 games are not going to be easy at all because everybody's looking forward to another 4 slots tomorrow.
If
Hopefully they don't go there, they make it out here itself. And especially we've been talking about
Inspiration
Group A,
is
which has teams
No
being
Master.
the toughest ones, the ones who've been the champions, and if they walk away into the finals itself, the other teams will have a very big trouble moving into the survival stage.
Yeah, and that's ironically something that a lot of these squads are hoping to happen,
Yeah,
right? They are
maybe.
hoping that the heavy hitters, the front runners, make it directly to the grand finals, so it makes the odds for tomorrow better. And usually you don't want to hope for your opponents to win, but in this case, for some of our hopefuls up here, some of our first-timers, they want that to be a possibility. They want to increase their chances. And speaking about chances, GunDynasty, they're looking good, they're feeling confident, they believe that the hard work will pay off, and I personally believe in that as well. Yesterday's performance was great. Now we need to see them push it through the finishing line.
Yeah, we had this conversation earlier as well, right? Southeast Asia versus Brazil. I think that's where the entire competition right now seems here at Esports World Cup 2026. But GunDynasty
GunDynasty for Latin America. They're coming out of the mix, out of the blue, and nobody's able to read them. And especially for a player to tell that we're not at all feeling pressure. This is the usual stuff for us day in, day out. That is unbelievable in such a high intense, high octane stage.
Yeah, I can't believe. I think it's like the mental fortitude and just the prep that they had, right? First time stepping onto such a big stage and having such confidence. And why wouldn't you be confident sitting in second place, just behind Buriram United Esports, who are at the top, of course, with 3 Booyahs and 80 elimination points. But if we take away that 3 Booyah, GunDynasty isn't that far behind, right? They are only 3 eliminations behind Buriram United Esports, followed by AG.AL, and then our defending champions on 25, which is EVOS, Snickers as well, with 2 Booyahs under the bag. Team Falcons catching up in the later stages of Group A. The top 6 look incredibly strong, but then we see the separation between 6 and 7.
Yeah, big difference around the 6 and 7. 58 points is where Aurora right now start off, and that's almost around a 30-point difference. It's not
BRU top पर तो BRU कल से ही टॉप पे थी नुबड़े अभी आज का मैच ही कहाँ स्टार्ट हुआ
going to the crusher to take away dreams. It could happen for some of them. They have to jump up, and in terms of those dreams, has to be the South Asian teams. That is Titan Esports Club and Demon's Pride. They've not at all had a great start. At least for Titan Esports Club, they have eliminations working for them. It's the placement points that they'll start working towards. Maybe there's a move up. They manage a chance towards the survival stage. I think that is a hit they have to look forward to.
Yeah, you gotta get into the flow state for the next 6 rounds. And we
आज तो कोई ना कोई इंडियन टीम बुया मारनी चाहिए भाई.
The South Asian teams, right? You can
नहीं तो कोई मतलब नहीं फिर खेलने का.
In the air, and hopefully it breaks when they hop into the lobby.
You know the reason.
Yesterday was all about getting comfortable, right? Getting the seats warm, and hopefully
I
when
know
you
the
sit
reason.
back down,
They are pro players.
You are feeling, comfortable enough to let yourself go and just play freely.
But you are no bro.
That's the toughest part. People always say that you play the
तू
best
नुबड़ा है ना
when you
बाकी
have
सब
nothing
pro
to
player
lose,
है
when
तो.
you play freely and have fun, but it's pretty tough when you have so much on the line.
But GunDynasty, it doesn't seem like they're thinking in that direction at all. They've been completely keeping themselves away from that thought process where there's a lot to achieve, lot at stake. This is our time on the stage. They are not thinking about that. They're making sure they put the best performance of Free Fire ever seen on the biggest of stages, and they're able to deliver. Sitting at the 2nd spot, 3 eliminations away from the team at the very top, tells you the caliber that they're walking here in Paris and looking forward to their global title, taking it away from EVOS. EVOS, yes, got their Booyah, but is it going to be enough for them?
And I'm going to take it a step further, Lucifer. There are 3 points difference in terms of elimination compared to BRU, right?
Yeah.
So the main difference is the placement. Because if BRU have 1 less Booyah, GunDynasty would already be at the top. And actually it is closer than it is. And if you put that into perspective, it's a very scary thought. You said that, for a team that is on this stage, they play freely with as if there's no pressure at all. For a first-timer, that is even more insane. So right now, I think hopping into today's games, the map rotation are going to be slightly different. Yesterday we did have the more Indonesian heavy favorite rotation in the second half, but today we get double purgatory. And you know what that means? Brazil and Thailand are going to be again with the classic of Bermuda. Let's hop into game 1 of Group A on day 2.
And this is where every team needs to start, especially the ones in the middle order as well as the teams at the bottom. If they don't start making points now, they will not be able to catch up to the race, especially because now
the clash हो रहा है, किसी का clash.
And the map
APU 3 है, PMA सकती.
entire playland into our half.
And even when you look at your screen, ladies and gentlemen, you can see the amount of Booyah some of these teams have acquired for themselves. I say some, but 6
River side कोई नहीं है, मिल कोई नहीं है.
holding the record, so if they ever get into a tiebreaker situation, they will have that
और किसका है? AG का क्लच नहीं है. अच्छा, AG जा सकती है फाइट लेने के लिए अगर जाना चाहे तो.
It is separated by eliminations, so those gun powers
DRS
are going to be very, very important. We see some early skirmishes already. The player is getting hyped up. DRS, a team that wants to get out from the bottom, starting off right.
The real soldiers. They've looked decent. I really like how they played. We were talking about them yesterday when we were sitting backstage and looking at their games. They start off well. They have their one-off games.
Falcons भाई निपट गए भाई.
Right now on a team
दो बंदे निपट गए Falcons के.
That is going to be Falcons. They're firing on them. Elimination.
Revive भी कर दिया. चले एक revive कर दिया.
This tells you why they're the champs. Why they're the defending ones right here on EWC. But now challenge coming in from Pina. He's already taken 1 down. Damage big time. And I think Abax is in big trouble.
Oh shit.
And then running around the glue wall. He puts Pina down.
Bailed out by the
रख
mini
दिया भाई
Uzi in
उसने।
the CQC. It's a full spray down onto Pina. 4 points for EVOS at the start
Horn
of this game. But
Horn
Falcons
कहाँ
not
से
out
मैं
just
कहाँ
yet. In fact,
Horn
the
से
whole
ही
team has
तो
been brought back, so we're back
क्या
to square
कहना
one.
चाह रहे हैं
DRS
आप?
though continues to rack up points by picking up stragglers. This time from Paradox Gaming. And even
Paradox,
Windy
DRS,
catching
Nepal
out in the
versus
open, but again the mini Uzi is the superior weapon.
चलो
What an individual battle being laid down by DRS. Looking very confident today, and this is how they played their game number 1 yesterday as well. And I think this is very consistent performance coming in, especially for the team from Nepal. This is something that I expected when I was seeing these South Asian teams play out, and DRS are delivering. Can they deliver to the top 4? Is a
DRS
question,
versus
but right now,
TAG,
another 1v1, and
बढ़िया।
this time Prateek, he will not be
पीछे
able
पीछे
to
आगे
take a hit
बंदे।
because this time it's going to be Team Apex Gaming, who we spoke about, slowly make a comeback, and it's already started off finding the very first, and that's going to be Shoto, but his trouble is still not done. Around the pipes, it's going to be Stroex, who is trying to trouble him, but Shoto out in the open, not the best position to be in, but there are reinforcements.
KD God.
KD God, the IGL, he has to stand with the team today, and he finds the opening.
And you had your opinions about these two teams that both started off good. For DRS, they are like the early round wonders. You need to see more consistency, but for TAG, they need some time to warm up. And I think it's falling into place for now as AG.AL finds himself a basically isolated AXO. So that's their 4th point. Rest Aurora
Buriram को निपटा रहे भाई सब पकड़ के।
drive along the coastline. But AG.AL, we know when they smell blood, they are going to keep on hunting. So we'll check back in just a little bit. TEC taking over the compound, and Jazzy able to launch pad to safety.
Demon Sprites still haven't found their openings. No eliminations, rather have lost 2 players. A Swab will be finally revived, but KD God on the other end, still troubling DRS.
Wait.
Titan Esports Club versus Demon Sprite. Both these teams are at the bottom. Both of them need points. But in the mix of this, the last player, Jun, gets found, and Aurora are out again.
That was scary.
रख दिया।
For half a second there, TEC
अच्छा नाव निकाला था कोई और रहता उसके साथ तो निकल जाती फाइट। या तो ऑस्कर वगैरह होता तो। DRS versus TAG, हक दिया।
Getting the Bison on the KD got instantly a recovery.
चल बचा दिया। बढ़िया।
Getting some magic done here. There is some recovery towards the very end, and thankfully, TAG continues to thrive.
4 eliminations in total. KD got with 2 of his own, and this is what we need being delivered by him. He is the pillar of the team, like we were talking about Mafia from Total Gaming yesterday. KD God does that for this team, and as I said, slowly but steadily they pick up pace, and it seems like they are moving in the direction. Yesterday we did see one of the game where it did find eliminations around the double digits, but it's not going to be enough. Today they have to rake up a lot of points because the
इसी बांग्लादेश वाली टीम है ना।
triple digits.
Keep up to that. Live up to that name, right?
इसी बांग्लादेश वाली टीम है जो RHK के नाम से खेलती थी वो टीम है ये।
Even for Titan Esports Club, they are now currently in 11th place. Last we checked in on them and the overall standing, they're 4 points already. That is, you know, in all honesty, in a lobby that already started slower than what we saw yesterday is a good thing, right? My personal prediction is that teams like BRU, they are going to slow down a little bit. They are already in such a comfortable spot. They're not going to be hunting for much. And this is actually a very good opening for teams at the bottom or the middle of the pack to start racking up some points.
Hands down, that's right. This should be an opportunity that the teams in the middle order should pick up points, and that's what Paradox is trying to do. Already found an opening on Team Apex Gaming. Will confirm the elimination, KD God, but quickly being hit upon. That's Shoto putting down Sneaky for his sneaky approach on his captain.
And Paradox still having members around. It's going to be windy now.
मार
Enrique out in the open. Shoto wins out on that exchange.
TAG nice.
And Enrique now fully alone. Snipe not in sight at all as Paradox Gaming pretty much separated on the map. And this is great for Apex Gaming. That's 7 points under the belt.
Looks really good. They're playing together.
Aurora Gaming eliminate हो गई बे।
As you said, on the other end, Paradox, depending on their
पांडे देख रहा है आज खेलेंगी भाई टीम।
How the exchange goes when the middle order teams finally find their fights. They're not completely sure about the top teams versus their own teams that they're fighting around the points for.
When we go down the food chain, it
BRU
is
versus
going to
EVOS
eventually come down to the placement points.
रसिया पकड़ा गया अकेले में लगता रिवाइव करने आया था।
The longer it takes for teams to get removed from the lobby, the harder it is to back those placement points. And finally, we see the heavy hitters bring into action. Rasha completely ran over by Jonah there. The valiant dash from the Oscar doing most of the work. EVOS Divine, or EVOS Esports in this case, not really looking for a fight, right? They lost Rasha, and that's what EVOS has been doing, I think, yesterday as well, where they were sending Rasha out on a one-man mission, and he's been holding the fort really well alone as a sniper.
Ooh.
But Team Apex Gaming right now holding their own side.
Let's go.
Putting down GunDynasty. We were thinking about this trouble that might strike GunDynasty. Shiro trying to run away. Will that be possible? He's already spotted out. Last man standing right behind the glue wall. Finds an opening, but it's not going to be enough. His numbers are not that great. And Team Apex Gaming find another. That's going to be 10 total eliminations for them. And Ben.L is the last man standing.
And Ben.L, coincidentally, is also the star of the team as he gallops away to try and find some safety net. Dinoculars used to scout out the journey in front, and for now it is clear. Might run into Takuri if he goes slightly further, but don't have to do so. GD not out just yet. And this was something, a concern that Jill brought up before the show started, right? That GunDynasty, they had a great start. They were really confident.
DP versus Falcon, DP
out of top 4 today. And this might just slowly manifest itself. We check back with them in just a little bit when Mandara getting absolutely fried in that hut with Limit watching from the side as well. The rest of Falcons about to surround their prey. Mandara with the Trogon, only good on a 1. But no confirmation there as Falcons take him out.
Losing players. Demon Sprite, they need eliminations, they need points. We spoke about this. Titan Esports Club at least picked up, but Falcons on the other end, they know what they want. They want to get to the top 4. They are right now missing on the top of the charts, and that's the reason they're running right now. And they've already spotted top 16 because he's been laying down glue walls. In the meantime, but I don't think top 16 will have an opportunity. On the other end, Team Apex Gaming.
Wow.
They again re-challenge Paradox and put the entire team out.
And talk about a strong start as we check in the STC replay here. Demon's Pride, unfortunately, is caught in the cross, caught in rotation by Team Falcon. And of course, with the Skylar in hand, in the hands of Limit, it was easy pickings. Falcons raking up 10 eliminations, entering the double-digit club. 10 teams remain. We did lose Aurora very early on, like what we seen yesterday. Paradox being the recent casualty. DRS still in the lobby, but with only 1 survivor left. Rimnam Village completely taken over by the Falcons as they make their nest here. We can expect a bit of a rotation afterwards because the circle did
loud DRS जा रहे पीछे से.
Eastern and completely southern, and that is the reason we end up seeing teams here. But Falcon now have another trouble in front of them. The ones who they are sharing the overall rankings with, that's going to be loud in front of them. Takuri, the last one who is in the deep waters, will also be found and fished out. And with that, DRS are out. But right now, with the boat maker being called, the fight breaks out between Falcons as well as Loud. Loud Snickers.
Loud का ये तो है, boat maker Loud ने मारा है.
Make sure they stabilize their position, as we said.
Falcon ने खुले में रखे कैसे लड़ रही है, ले गई.
It's not happening. It's a quick exchange. But BZP, he manages to confirm on P now. That's a very crucial opening to taking out the CQC.
Limit आगे वाले को देख.
So Limit is not letting out of sight. Nix actually fights Limit, the backstab. Perfectly done, and BCP back up on his feet. Loud Snickers outdoing Falcons. Keroro on the run with the launch pad. BZP not able to find the track. And Falcons escape with their tails between their legs, but not fully clipped yet. Pina was brought back, but Loud Snickers now take control.
What a fight that was to hold it off and BZP to put Limit over there. If he did not find, because Limit was already
DRS मर गई भाई, जोर में बेचारा बचा था.
And that is the reason, taking out bits and pieces of Falcons worked out for Loud. First take down the CQC player and then go for the one in the long range made a wonders. AG.AL on the other end, sneakily, they have been pulling up eliminations for themselves, 7 eliminations. And I think in the top 4 so far that we've seen teams, AG.AL are the ones who are very consistent, safe and sound, and not troubled by any team so far.
Same as BRU, right? Both of these teams have been chilling a bit. We say that they have been taking it slow, but then when you look at the eliminations, AG.AL actually has 7 eliminations off screens, and most of it is just picking off stragglers and catching teams in rotation. But most of these teams, they were able to get those revives.
आज इंडियन कुछ करे, आज करो यार, करो टॉप पे आना भाई, आज तो खेलना पड़ेगा.
Less for Demon's Pride. BRU now making their rotation just past Pochinok.
A good chance that they run into
GD again, who has been giving them some problems yesterday.
GunDynasty. Yesterday has been a problem for their own. Hopefully they soon recover. But right now, Demon's Pride, they spot a problem in front of them. That's going to be Loud. A quick run with a boost in the vehicle they took, and they take the compound right next to Demon's Pride. 3 players, Jazzy, Aswab, and Madara, they have to figure because Loud have been looking louder than ever here on day 2 for the top 4 spots.
Absolutely. And it seems like Demon's Pride are thinking about standing their ground, but there could be intervention from EVOS, who are right behind them, just silently watching this go down. We see the UAVs being sent out. And I think Lao Snickers are doing the good move. This is a very classic pincer, right? You surround the compound and suddenly whoever is in those buildings becomes the one that is trapped. DP are starting to feel that pressure.
Yeah, today, I think GunDynasty, while they did not feel any of it yesterday, it is about qualifications. It's about keys at stake. It's about making it to the final. And right now, even Titan Esports Club on top of the silo start putting players down, doing the damage, and EVO's helping out over there. Unfortunate, one of the eliminations was stolen away, but they still have the eyes on the Falcons. The verticality has changed. Falcons are on the ground, whereas Titan Esports Club are on the roof right now.
Yesterday we got very generous circles, but I think today things are going to only get worse.
Look at the final circle.
I mean, the circle's right out in the open, right? Yeah. Like if you are not good, if you are not comfortable with these CQCs out in the open, if you are slow in the decision making, that is going to be the difference maker. And I think it's a very good time to put our teams to the test. Who can survive a circle as
Falcon
good as
और TAE जो double digit में भी तक kill निकाला जिन्होंने.
Especially in game 1 of day 2. That gives you a lot of confidence moving further, and that's what Team Apex Gaming have done. They've started off great, but right now they have a challenge. All gamers global want to find an opening. Plethora of throwables being all tuned towards Team Apex Gaming. Flash freeze, nades, but now counter activity coming in from Team Apex Gaming, trying to push down AG.AL. Shoto in the forefront using the dash, wants to find an opening, but AG.AL are not giving space.
And they took care of the UAV as well. Medic gun to heal Shoto back up. The tip of the spear for TAG lies in his hands. Barro's getting flanked out. S8UL almost getting the takedown. That could have made a world of difference here, but it
हो सकता निकल जाएगा फाइट चल. अरे नहीं यार, डाउन मत दो.
That manages to break this fight wide open. TAG down one, second one on the ground. KD gone now. We'll have to dig deep and find something, but AG.AL will be the one that prevails.
That was brilliant caliber and holding position played out by AG.AL.
क्या तगड़ा खेला भाई.
That ground, even though they were at a
एजी ने जो फंसाया भाई इनको.
They were still holding it off against Team Apex Gaming. Would have had an opportunity, but I think that being a little spread out became a disadvantage for them. But right now, spreading themselves around, we saw already this rotation coming in from Lao, the smartest one. They're ahead of Demon's Pride, and now they have vision. And EVOS are also being troubled by Loud, and now even Demon's Pride Trap already getting closer. He's already found an opening on a swap. Jazzy, he's also down. Trouble now for Demon's Pride. Last man standing, and the net from Trap. The M79 strikes death for Demon's Pride.
And off-screen, Team Falcons also dispatched by BRU, and now they turn their attention over to AG.AL. Nameless did get popped early on, but there should be a recovery. Titan Esports still has Blade around. And is he sharp enough to cut through the ranks
ले जा सकते लेकिन ना. हम BRU के पास भी मौका है ले जाने का.
This is going to be tough. No utilities, 2 glue walls, and only 5 medkits. As BRU will also have to make a break for it. Once more doorway out of this. They exit straight into the line aside of Lao Snickers and potentially EVOS.
This is what should not happen on your day 2 where you're looking forward to qualification. All the top 4 teams are still surviving. Buriram, AG.AL, EVOS and Loud. It's only Titan Esports Club all the way at the bottom who has the last player standing, and he doesn't have any position in the zone. So a lot of points which could have been acquired for teams for qualification are being missed out. Blade will be spotted, quickly taken down by Cypher, and we come down to the last 4 teams, and all of them are in the top 4.
Wasana takes the nade to the face, but getting top back up by the therapy. The support system always solid there. Get high, getting sniped by Cypher. But BRU focus on Lao Snickers, and that's a fatal mistake. As Lao Snickers and AG.AL work hand in hand for the elimination, and now they turn on each other.
EVOS ने कहीं निकाल दे भाई फाइट.
Yosha gets taken down. Cypher wants to put BCP down in the truck. He's not been able to do, but finally that strike coming in from Dew, and EVOS Divine helping out. Next becomes the last man standing as EVOS go out. Cypher has already spotted him, wants to whack him out, but Nix, he's trying to isolate this fight. He brings it down, players are falling down.
बैन कर रहे थे सब भाई इसको.
AG.AL, they had the numbers, and they get their very first Booyah.
Very first Booyah in the group stage, and even without it, they were in the top 4 spot. So imagine when you give AG.AL such a big boon. fantastic performance. We saw the hold earlier on where they came back from a disadvantage, and it was all because of one minor detail. Baro surviving.
OP guys, OP क्या ही खतरनाक निकला भाई.
Break the backbone of AG.AL.
AG.AL ने.
You instead, and that is exactly what was achieved. Them and Lao unintentionally working together to get rid of BRU, but then AG.AL found a perfect engage onto Lao.
Yeah, I think there was an opportunity where Loud, if they had a chance to recover themselves after the fight, being at the edge of the zone, it could have been their Booyah as well. They've already pulled so many yesterday. It could have been an added or third today.
Yep.
But AG.AL's position, we spoke about it, even in a position where they had to climb up the hill again.
ये अच्छा कर लेती, but
if that did not work out, we would have seen
वहाँ पे मतलब भगाने ठीक ही गया.
They held their front there, and it worked out. And now they've gotten their very first Booyah here on day 2, especially being at the top 4 hurts the middle order.
Yeah, but there are definitely flowers that need to be given to some of the teams that are.
ये खेल अच्छा रही बस चोक कर दे रही बात पर जाके.
Well, they came out strong. DRS as well, right? There's some great stuff happening, but let's listen in to what AG.AL were talking about leading up to that Booyah.
29 points का भाई गेम निकाला.
Again, another performance from AG.AL that I think shook the opener of day 2, but I would say, right, this goes back to the potential of our secondary scenario. If this trend continues, then might as well let them go through. Let them go through, and we have some of the teams who are chasing for their qualification to grand finals play tomorrow. An extra 10 games, but I guess without these heavy hitters being a big threat, it makes the chances slightly better.
It makes the chances slightly better if you think about the survival stage, but as you looked at the performance right now, the bottom dwellers, the last 2 who were there, even Titan Esports Club and Demon Sprite, they try to make it towards the top 6 teams, meaning they're acquiring placement points, they're getting eliminations, and they're trying to get themselves out of that elimination threat, meaning the middle order, now it's completely dicey. So you don't know who's going to get eliminated. So better be wary. Either you strike towards the top 4, or you don't know if you're going to get eliminated or not.
Yeah, there's always that safety net, I believe, for any Free Fire competition, right? If I can't take that top spot and qualify, the bare minimum, I make it out alive to the next stage. And so if you can't aim for top 4, aim for top 10.
But I'm not sure if it's going to be as easy as it sounds or as easy as we make it sound. Because look at GunDynasty, they were barely able to get 2 points in this game. That tells you day 1 and day 2 can be completely drastically different. It cannot replicate the same performance, and that's what even AG.AL, to get their very first Booyah, allowed to go out like that, tells you that teams are slowly, strategically planning their championship. They want their trophy, their key put on the shield.
Yeah. What more impressively is how this group was a group of teams that basically they enter the boxing ring and they just start swinging, right? They're just filling their arms. They're trying to get some haymakers.
बोर्ड पे कुछ तो लिखा था.
Swing teams that
if you be seen this pet, share it on EWC.
Basically, they enter the boxing ring
Achha.
and they just start swinging, right? They're just filling their arms off.
Yep. Completely. The top 4 teams surviving till the very last, and also being the last 4 surviving teams, that patience, that holding game off, actually playing as survivors and knowing that they don't have a lot at stake to go out. Whereas GunDynasty, something that we were talking about, if they miss their performance today and if Falcons rise up the ranks, they might get pushed down. We already spoke, yes, they have high number of eliminations, but that's not going to cascade and help them out to directly qualify if they don't put up a decent performance today.
Yeah, I would say that they do have a safety net with the points they have, and let's see how much longer they can lay in that bed of roses. We're going to let them lie down and rest for a little bit, as we will be right back with more Free Fire action.
Play is in our DNA. Whenever we let it out, it becomes our superpower. Now imagine an entire city being built to supercharge it. Kadir City, powered by play.
Can someone please fix this?
Kadir City.
AG.AL secured the first Booyah of the day. We are now back on stage with Miko and Chita Caroline, and of course we have Yunsel here.
क्या जो भी बंदा स्ट्रीम बना रहा है सब लोग लाइक शेयर एंड सब्सक्राइब कर दो यार जल्दी से.
The game what a match. I mean, what even is that last circle, Yunsul?
That was crazy. That was really intense. Imagine we have 5 teams, very strong teams compete with each other. And lastly,
देखो कि जल्दी लगता है मैच जल्दी स्टार्ट होगा
AG.AL.
जल्दी स्टार्ट करना भी चाहिए वैसे यार जल्दी खत्म करे कल भाई 7-8 घंटे की स्ट्रीम हो गई
I was waiting for that for the whole day.
Yes, and what's amazing is that AG actually scored the highest elimination points the other day in one game, and that was the 5th game. They got 19 points. I'm pretty sure they were able to be doing that again today, hopefully. But seeing what we just saw in the first game, I think things are looking quite promising, right?
Yes, from what I can see from yesterday, they have been playing very stable. Even though there's no Booyah, but still, as you said, the elimination points was on point, on peak. They were doing so best, and today, finally, after game 1, they got 1 Booyah. But still, the first ranking here is Buriram United Esports, which is 149 points for the first ranking. Well, this is our stage hit for the after game 1. Thank you, Conchita, and thank you for your listening. Let's head back to our casters.
Thank you very much to our lovely angels, Yunsu and Conchita. We got a lot more in store here at the Free Fire at EWC 2026. Again, Paris can only get more and more lovely with these actions as we quickly
चालू भी हो गया भाई क्या
number 2, and this time
चालू हो गया भाई मैचेस
did mention earlier on that the map rotation will be slightly different today.
Let's go guys चालू चुका है मैच सेकंड
Booyah. So let's see if they can keep that train going.
It is Solara that we drop down to. And another opportunity for the teams at the middle order as well as at the bottom. And you can already see a quick swap because of how Titan Esports Club played. And we mentioned this. They need placement points. They instantly got it. And now up.
And now they are in a great spot. Yeah, we cool. We complete each other's sentences. But I will say that whatever we sort of like set up yesterday,
DP और Paradox का हो गया clash. DP यार खेले यार अच्छा. DP को निपटा दे रहे सब.
They get wiped out first. Enrique, you see here, he has great survival instinct from game 1, but top 16 is going to hunt him down. Aswab instantly brought back. TEC
भी आ गई ले.
That is a team that we've been watching out for at the start of day 2. Najat in the fray of things. Rahat also coming in, and Blaze slicing through the ranks of Demon's Pride.
Oh no, Aswab in the mid-air has been spotted by GunDynasty, and he will be taken down. Demon's Pride are losing players once again. Paradox get eliminated in the mix of this. And Paradox, who just got pushed to the bottom 2, will also suffer another loss right at the start of our Game 8, Match 8.
Talk about kicking them while they are down, and they are out. Paradox, a very unfortunate early exit, completely swarmed by multiple teams in the earlier stage.
DRS भी आ गई यहाँ पे भाई जितनी मतलब
Whether it's desperation
और उसी टीम में सब एक साथ लड़ रही है बस इंडिया को छोड़ के AG भी आ रही है नीचे से क्या I think so AG आ रही है AG गया है Storix गया
couple of stragglers on their own, but it does come at a cost of teams who are just half a second slower to respond.
DRS want to be the quickest one to respond right now. They did spot AG.AL, but they take the fight to Titan Esports Club, and Najat is taken down. And it is the wisest calls I feel right now coming in from DRS, and they're making a run for it. Rahat and Blade, they just have the stairs that they are being protected by, but DRS, they are on a charge. They want to go for a hit. Adu was backing off, uses the chrono, and is now safe and sound, but at least this gives away the position of where the players from Titan Esports Club are. But it's only these two. The other players are in the other direction, revived and are healthy.
Pratik is actually getting pressured as well, forced to take the zipline away. Takuri actually getting tagged in the meantime, was brought down. But this was sort of like the demise of Paradox Gaming.
भाई सबसे गलत हुआ
and painless one.
Paradox के साथ.
They take the bottom spot. Aurora still in this game, which is a blessing in disguise if you are a Malaysian team supporter here. But Blade just absolutely popped Rasha. Great shot from afar. Rahat caught in for reinforcement. Aurora this time.
Aurora भी है भाई.
Not be taken out by AG.
ये भी टारगेट टीम में आ रही है आती जा रही.
Cypher barricades himself safely, and Axo with the follow-up. Cypher is out.
He'll be confirmed. It's up to Barros and Dew, who's in his flight mode right now, dropping in air. If he gets spotted out, trouble will strike. And Aurora, they need a game like this. They need a recovery game, and it might happen on Solara, where everybody's forced for a fight. Barros tried to hold his own, but he'll not be able to. At least the revive happened. Therefore, there is still chance.
Aurora पिछले गेम का बदला ले रही है इस गेम में.
However, Aurora, they needed these 4 crucial 4 eliminations.
The good news for Aurora is that they are not close to the bottom 2. But the bad news is that they technically only have 5 games to play because game 1 they didn't really get anything done. So the catch-up game, and there's a lot more urgency for them compared to the rest of the teams. And one of the teams that is in no rush at all is EVOS. And so far playing on Solara, it's one of the maps that they are slightly more comfortable in. Loud Snickers playing a bit of Stroax, completely found out in the open. And Loud Snickers with their first point.
EG कहाँ घूम रही भाई जाके फाइट ले भाई
game so far. Ending up in the top 4, making sure they stay the top 4 way that they are in, and it continues that they
फाइट लो भाई जाके ऐसे कुछ नहीं होने वाला
counterparts from Brazil, MIBR.LOS in Fluxo, they're keeping their toes matched up, and I think that's what Loud want to do. And if that's a majority of all the Brazilian teams who made it here to EWC, all going to the finals, there is a big chance for them to walk away with being called the champions.
It's a lot of pressure also because when we look at even the, I want to say from the earlier days until now, you would expect teams from Thailand and Brazil, if they qualify to a tournament, they're expected to all make it to the grand finals. It is quite the weight to shoulder, and especially for Loud, who has been on the big stage, they've missed out if they're not, you know, they don't have 100% attendance, but when they're there, a lot of eyes are on them, right?
Yeah.
Aside from Fluxo, like Loud is the second team that you sort of want to make it to the finals and give a good match, but it has always been so close.
But Aurora also want to make that happen, and that's the reason this challenge happens. However, Jun's lost. That is Rasha coming in.
No way!
He puts Sue is also down. Confirmations. Aurora are losing players one after another. That's Rasha for you. He once again, he was back in action. S8UL spotted. AG.AL puts him down, and it's the Axel. Can he put the chopping block out of EVOS, or will he be found out? Damage done.
अकेला बंदा है बस
Position completely compromised. It's just
और बुरा गई
in the direction that he's running away. I don't see a vending machine to help, nor a team to help out. And Axel will just try and bide time for the time being because EVOS have a distraction.
Yeah, Demon's Pride bailed Aurora out of that. It was a missed opportunity. Aurora had that bit of a mechanical error, caused them to be in this spot, but again, Demon's Pride, who are also hungry for some points, they ended up being the intervention that Aurora desperately needed in times.
This is what I was talking about. And you see how the bottom teams are now fighting for eliminations. They will go for the top 4 teams are already getting their best.
And that is the best part right now of this lobby. Desperation is a double-edged sword.
Yep.
And he has been empowering some of these teams so far. The risk, definitely not as great as the reward. Good ratio there. Even TAG finds himself on the feed. Just a quick reminder at the end of this, 2 teams are gonna have their keys back into the crusher.
Yeah.
EG Falcons की fight हो रही है.
Such great accessories, but that's the nature, the brutality of a competition. Let's see what this circle brings us, because game 1 was brutal. In game 2, a little bit more tame, but plenty of opportunities.
Open right now is going to be a fight between Buriram
and
EVOS, who just got revived. However, it's only one of the players getting stuck between the lot of Buriram at EQOO.
Falcon फिर से repeat
very soon, but team finding players are tagged. That's Team Apex Gaming. More eliminations coming their way. They're climbing up the ranks, making sure if they have an opportunity, but they need a lot more. They need points closer to 30 in total. Maybe a Booyah also needed if they want a run going towards the top 4.
And the bailout earlier on, the unintentional one, gave Aurora time to bring the whole squad back, right? We look at the separation between Falcons and Aurora. It is 49 points. Made worse by the fact that Aurora didn't really get to play the first game, so it is a tall task to expect Aurora to catch up and find a tie, but it's good enough to remain in the top 10 and make it to survival stage tomorrow.
circle चल रहा है ना?
DRS looking for a rotation. Loud doing the exact same thing, but they might be beelining straight into
Third circle शायद close in हो रहा है.
They just got eliminations from EVOS. They have a compound that they're holding. Looks to be a better game. Loud have just found their one here. AG.AL in the meantime, they're finding the players of EVOS, and EVOS seemed troubled after they were about to convert on Demon's Pride. Wherever they try to head out, they've been spotted, taken down and eliminated. Abax being chased by AG.AL, and he will be put to rest as well. And that is EVOS losing their players. One last survivor is AG.AL. Only gets coins now, but where is the vending machine? On one end, there's Buriram. On the other end, AG.AL. And right in front now, Demon's Pride as well as Loud going in for a fight. And it's going to be Loud putting a swap down. And the entire squad within a whiff gets eliminated.
a full blitz from Loud again. Their execution in
DPTC Paradox तीनों टीम में गई.
efficient. They make sure that the fight ends within 15 to 20 seconds so that there's time for them to recuperate if a second team does arrive. And it's something that has defined Lao's playstyle in competitive Free Fire. The Wonder Key gets brought back, but that's the most that Aim God could do for the team. And right after that, AG.AL finds a pickoff. And it's the same situation that EVOS frequently find themselves in, playing the survival game.
As of now, I think that's the mantra for them. They're unable to find a footing to just go for fights, and they've been just chased by teams, put them down one after another. And DRS wanted to start out strong. The real soldiers using UAV to just get a grasp of information around. They spot another and they do destroy. Strox, he is the sniper. He's the one who finds a lot of value. But so far for DRS, at least today's start in game number 1 was decent. And out of that, Solara right now hasn't found much.
And it's a team that is also the first time on the EWC stage as well. Finally getting what people say they deserve over their counterpart back in the region.
AG.AL versus BRU guys. क्या लगता है कौन जीतेगा? BRU versus AG.AL.
As round 1, but we might find an early ending as Jonah with a good hit on the deal. Saifa still pushing forward with support from his teammate Wasana though will win that fight, and this time BRU, they will show AG.AL that once is enough. Barros is poking it out of there, but has to go into the blue with no coins at all.
You could see how clever that fight was. They used the Steffi, no throwables that could have been dropped by the side of AG.AL, went in for a 4-forward fight, guns all out, and Buriram had the better of it, and AG.AL could do nothing of it. It's just very strategic play coming through, and this is what makes champions. And you mentioned Buriram, they want their cabinet with an EWC trophy, and this could be one of the opportunities.
Yep, it's the final piece of the puzzle, and how poetic it is that the final piece of the puzzle is fitting the key into the plaque. It's going to be a lot of stories being completed. I think, again, for BRU, the whole world is waiting with bated breath for that to happen. Alu ends up stepping on the landmine. That should be the end of DRS as Guasha finds Pratik. Point number 7, number 8 for the Brazilians. DRS, they'll just have to try and put up a fight, but unfortunately, not enough firepower in this case.
Trap mentioned it's time for Brazil. It's time for Loud to get this trophy, and he is doing it for the team. Playing together, the last man makes a run, but how far can he run? Loud have another challenge. That's going to be Aurora this time. Back and forth. The compound was cleared by Loud. They took Demon's Pride out. DRS came for a challenge. They were pushed out, and now Aurora. Is the story going to be any different? Loud are going to just get eliminations after eliminations, and highest so far here on Solara, they're sitting at 9 in total.
The property value of that compound is only going to keep on increasing with so much of visitations. KD gone.
Let's go,
was able to take out Barros, and that spells the end for AG.AL in game 2. 8 teams remain. Falcons still healthy. Sharu getting chased down. It's GunDynasty not really having the best of time. He now finds the 3rd point for his team.
One last survivor from GunDynasty. That's the only one right now. But on the other end, Aurora. This real estate, as you already mentioned, it is just Loud's. They've written it down, they've cemented it, and it's going to go down ages, at least here on Solara. And they're at the dead center of the circle, so nobody's going to push them out. Maybe the circle itself decides to make a very hard shift, and then Loud would have to change the position.
Even there, wow, they don't have to. But the circle, consistent with what we've requested, at least for today, give Loud a bit of a compound. But most of the safe zone is out in the open. Dinoc is scanned out, so someone knows that Loud is in that compound with 12 eliminations to boot. BRU should show up on the radar any time now. I believe there's a good chance it came from EVOS or even TAG, who are now making their appearance. Can Loud hold back the 3rd wave of challenges?
Team Apex Gaming, they need these points more than Loud. The challenge has to be very critical on the hit. DRS were in the same compound, but Loud were able to turn it around. And yes, a little active in terms of their approach, going a little ham against Loud while there were landmines all across. And even right now, a Gatling gun being placed, the minute turret could be trouble. Riptide Rhythm on the other end coming in from Falcons to break the defenses of Buriram. Spotted out in the open was Jonah. He backs off with his teammates, making sure this fight instantly doesn't replicate to eliminations on either end.
Falcon pitegi pakka.
I mean, Team Apex Gaming a lot more patient
मार भी सकती
something
है
that I think is going to be the main difference maker between what we saw from Aurora, right? Well, a lot more in your face.
GunDynasty
Want
गई
to make more moves. Falcons also.
GunDynasty का पहले दिन पे गेम अच्छा था, दूसरा दिन तो अच्छा नहीं जा रहा भाई इनके लिए.
Themselves on the low ground as Ray out with the open will pick up by Guaksha, so that's the 13th point for Lao Snickers. But the rest of EVOS, even if they get through Lao, they still have to do a DRS. Apex, what was that?
That was a big surprise. Nobody expected him to be behind enemy lines. And Rasha being the distraction. And he's still firing. Abax gets another player from DRS, but they instantly put glue walls and stall that at least for the time being. Abax, can he find more? Russia on the other end. These two players on two different directions trying to corner a team, and Russia spots Falcons. Damage being done. Finds the knock. Can he find a confirmation? No, again, glue walls being blocked on any approach coming in from EVOS.
And Rasha himself, 6 out of the 7 eliminations this game for his team. Him and Apex completely separated, and Trap will take care of his teammate. The Wonder Kid left to his own devices, and now the circle closes in. Even Lao will have to start evicting the compound. Riptide Rhythm goes absolutely wide there from TAG. So Falcons not really threatened, and they have such a good spot perched up on this boulder.
It looked like it was going to be loud earlier, but right as now, as you mentioned, yes, it is Falcons. They have the best position to hold every team off. The circle's about to close in the next 10 seconds, and also it's shifting. Teams better be ready for this. Wolverine gets taken down by Moshi. A very small, slight angle where he found Wolverine down, but I think it should be an instant recovery. Not much to be worried about. But Team Apex Gaming, they have to put them down right here at the hut. But Buriram now decide to go challenge and get closer. Falcons trying to hit shots, but none of them connect, and Buriram make it safely.
And the result between BRU and TAG comes down to how much can Falcons change the course of this battle. The glue wall from BRU will give them some space to work with. Wasana being given one more glue wall as he ran out of resources, but BRU decides that they can't bomb rush this. In fact,
बढ़िया यार, एक नंबर भाई.
Response on to Falcons. Rasha gets freed up, and now he books it for the building.
बस BRU को निपटा दो यार तुम लोग. BRU निकल गए फिर से. लॉन्च पर लगा के ऊपर चढ़ गए.
The reposition enabled by the chaos. BRU now in prime spot.
However, Loud are taking away those eliminations, stealing it away. Damage being done by Buriram, but Loud, they are getting it all. It looks unstoppable. Russia is in a very compromised position. So is Keroro from Falcons. How drastically this fight changed from Falcons winning it to almost now losing it. And now Team Apex Gaming, they're making a rush out in the open. Keroro has nothing to say, and Shoto finds it. And right now we have the best 5 teams looking forward to points. Falcons are out of the race, and Team Apex Gaming now move to that.
BRU पहले जाके भाई जोन पकड़ ली.
The circle decides that will be the case. EVOS eliminated down to top 4, and TAG ever so close. And so far they will be unbothered just for an instant, as DRS is going to be the one that faces resistance. Lao, attention put onto the captain Jonah. BRU under pressure. Wasana responds from long range. They need to keep Jonah alive, and Jonah is the anchor that cannot break. But Lao is putting on immense pressure by just rushing in.
Apex भी आ Apex आ जा.
And BRU able to
DRS को बस मार दे. DRS को निकाल दे.
Needs to catch up.
Just like how out in the open Buriram made their rotation, even Loud managed to, with a plethora of glue walls, lay down the land and they walk across. They're closer than ever. Team Apex Gaming in the meantime, just because Loud decided to rotate out earlier, now they have an opportunity. Jonah finds Takuri, the last one from DRS, and now Team Apex Gaming have an opportunity because Loud and Buriram are close together. However, Get High, he is shooting the players of Team Apex Gaming and not letting them slide down the hill.
This is the final lap for Apex Gaming, and hold my hand, Lucifer, because we might be witnessing history here. The top 3 teams, 2 of the front runners still with the full squad left alive. But
अबे नहीं है वहाँ पे कोई भाई. शोटो वहाँ पे नहीं है कोई. मारो यार कहीं और. ये लोग निकलेंगे बाहर. ये लोग निकलेंगे बाहर. मारो.
They are in such a prime position to get this pick off.
Loud, they decided to make a rotation earlier than Buriram, but Buriram had the position, and Loud are trapped because the zone's closing in. Glue walls not.
बढ़िया एक नंबर.
God finds the opening.
And they do it here. TAG. The faster they get rid of Lao, the better they are for him. And Lao, you know that the Brazilians, they don't back down, and they are ready to take that fight. The cluster would have been nice if it connected, but now Lauda out of vision, and BRU into the fray.
Team Apex Gaming, they have an advantage. Loud have a safe spot. BR, you are out in the open.
Riptide Rhythm.
It's breaking their defenses one after another. Shoto has had a great start in this game. 5 eliminations already, and a KD got hit again. Wasana is down. Make it get higher. Fulvin finds one more. Team Apex Gaming are all for assist.
अरे यार चुरा रहे किल सब लाउड और क्यों चुरा लिए?
And Team Apex Gaming will not be happy about this.
This is looking good. TAG have a chance. Jonah being pressured by Lau. A distraction, they're eliminated. TAG in a
4v4. क्या लेट्स गो एक नंबर भाई छोटो एक नंबर छोटो 1v3 लेट्स गो इंडिया
This is a very big booyah for Team Apex Gaming. We spoke about their comeback. They start slow, but they make it happen. And especially
Let's go India.
At esports
भाई क्या ही तो खतरनाक निकाला भाई.
Is the biggest of stages, and Team Apex Gaming for India make a big booyah.
Yesterday we talked about this. Dreams come true one step at a time, and I'm glad we held hands for this moment. What an achievement it is for the region. They needed some time to warm up, but once those seats are warm, TAG entered the flow state. And with impeccable execution in the final circle, they took advantage of all these openings given to them. Openings that are very minor, that cannot be missed. But they were on the ball, Lucifer.
We spoke about this, right? Prime position, real estate, all of it. One after another, every team wanted it. Loud started it off, Buriram went for it, and then finally Team Apex Gaming found the very best spot. Falcons, this is why we were talking about it. They were the ones who should have been a booyah here, but they messed up in their movement, and it was Team Apex Gaming took that same position away from Falcons, took the last player down, and they get this booyah, and thankfully, they managed to do it in such a manner where they were ahead of the zone, up the hill, and this time they get it.
Incredible stuff here. You can really hear the passion radiate. The crowd, they were feeling it. They knew that once we got into the top 6, TAG is a prime candidate for that booyah. And this is what the Esports World Cup is all about, man. Unpredictability, the volatility, but this final sequence, TAG, I could rewatch this all day.
All day, all long. Brilliantly played out. Yes, they tried to pick an opening, but it did not work out as brilliant as they wanted. Holding it off, KD got Sayajat. Shoto, the big man. What a play coming in from their end. And yes, as I said, this is a very big thing for them and the whole of India to look at.
They are going to be incredibly proud, but we're going to let these teams again prep for the upcoming games. And for now, we're going to hand it over to Carol on the stage as she has something for us.
Hello everyone, I'm Carol Bombshell and we are back on stage and I'm happy to have this company here by my side, Nameless from AG.AL team. Thanks so much for your time. And yesterday we noticed that you guys got so close so many times to get a booyah, but unfortunately you didn't. But today, happily you guys managed. How did it feel to get your first booyah in the competition?
ก็เมื่อวานนะครับแบบว่าหลายครั้งเหลือเกินที่เราเกือบจะได้บูย่าเนี่ยแต่ว่าไม่ได้สักทีนะฮะแต่ว่าวันนี้เนี่ยเราได้ปลดล็อกที่ได้บูย่าแรกแล้วเนี่ยฮะรู้สึกยังไงบ้างครับ
ครับก็รู้สึกปลดล็อกครับแล้วก็รู้สึกว่าทีมพวกผมพร้อมแล้วครับที่จะเป็นแชมป์
Yeah, I feel like we have already unlocked something and I think we are ready to become the champion of this tournament.
I like your confidence. That's definitely the way to talk. Okay, so after finishing last year in the 5th place and in the 30 in the global finals, you are getting closer to win an international tournament. And of course, together with your whole team, does it feel like this is the moment to get over the line?
ก็ในปีที่แล้วนะฮะเราได้จบไปที่นะฮะแล้วก็อันดับที่3นะครับใน global tournament นะฮะในปีนี้เนี่ยเราขยับเข้ามาอีกขั้นหนึ่งแล้วที่จะได้เป็นแชมเปี้ยนนะฮะรู้สึกยังไงบ้างครับ
ก็รู้สึกว่าปีที่แล้วทีมนี้ไม่มีผมครับปีนี้มีแล้วน่าจะเป็นแชมป์ได้ครับ
Yeah, I think like because last year he not in the team yet, but this year he's here already, so everything should be fine now.
Okay, are you sure? All right, I trust you. Okay, so there is really some tough teams in the way, of course. Buriram, Fluxo, MIBR.LOS, all look very strong. Who do you think is the biggest competitor right now?
ก็ตอนนี้นะครับมีหลายทีมเลยที่บอกว่าเป็นตัวเต็งนะครับไม่ว่าจะเป็น MIBR นะฮะแล้วก็อีกหลายๆทีมครับคิดว่าตอนนี้ทีมไหนเป็นตัวที่เป็นคู่แข่งที่น่าจับตามองมากที่สุดครับ
น่าจะเป็นฟุกโซแล้วก็เราครับ
Yeah, I think it's gonna be Fluxo and Laos, which is like the most competitive team.
Only Brazilian teams? Okay, I like your answer. Thanks so much for the interview. Good luck in the next matches and the rest of the day. And that's it. You heard from Nameless from AG.AL team. And I'm back with you guys at the studio.
That was it.
Choose from thousands of realistic voices to use in your content. Change the way you record podcasts, voiceovers, and branded content with the #1 AI-powered voice-generating technology. Stop searching for the perfect voice and stop wasting time re-recording take after take. Try 11 Labs for free and start elevating your content today.
I think that was with raw opinions.
I'm just gonna have to say it. I think they have their heads up right now.
They're just
absolutely.
Yes, from broadcasters who don't even know they're being recorded. They don't know they're being recorded?
Oh, what do you mean? That is insane.
What is this? Nicole, I said, please, lactose free. I can't deal with this.
All right,
not here, not now.
We gotta look at his game. I'm sorry, is this a good idea?
This is what we have. All you have to do is read the lines.
All right.
The bed.
Absolutely the bed. I don't understand how this keeps getting allowed to take control of the space and nothing is done about it.
We're gonna get fined. There's no way that this is gonna work.
Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. We do the thinking, okay?
I cannot believe this job on this team. Every time you thinking, oh my, they got the game, and
You know what? We're actually just going to be bringing you the same great coverage once again this year. Nothing else. First KC fans try to sabotage me, now my own agent.
I hope our reactions for that game were not recorded because there's a lot of stuff that we were saying that's not going to be able to be broadcasted. But India finally shows up here with the Booyah, Neptune.
Yeah, I'm really excited to see them play because even to set the expectation from yesterday, Lucifer did mention that they have a slow start and then they move up, but also in the last two games, they plummeted. So hopefully this is a different story right now, starting it off in game number 2 with that Booyah. And it's good elimination as well coming from them. It was almost the same story earlier wherein they could have taken a higher spot, especially in game 1, but it's just unfortunate that, so the story is AG.AL as well as Team Apex Gaming, they scan each other with the binoculars. So AG.AL was just waiting for them to rush in. And the moment they did, they got annihilated. Buriram almost got them as well, but it's a good thing that on game number 2, Team Apex Gaming managed to recover.
Yeah, but always, I have to appreciate how Loud is also doing so well in the first and second game. I mean, that last circle was amazing. Yes, they were in a bit of a compromising situation. They got lower ground, but they managed to make it work. And I mean, getting that points, 19 elimination points, and then previously 14 elimination points. This is the consistency that we need. And of course, we expected from a Brazilian team.
And while we were talking about Loud, one of the things that we were mentioning too, that we especially were talking about Neptune, is their positioning, right? Yesterday, at one point, it looked like they were just getting gifted, but you can't say gifted when this squad is continuing to just be consistent in their location and their placement during those circles.
Yeah, most of the time they go and choose the middle of the map. That's where they get information, and not everyone is following that path. So pretty much they are in a safe spot already once everyone is in position, or as soon as the next phase covers the following one, that's where they will be able to rotate onto the edge of that circle. So it's a good strategy for Lao Snickers right now, but I think even Buriram United in game number 2 tried to do the same thing. They went in the south, and that's when they met AG.AL and take them down.
Yeah, and what's interesting for me was that battle between, was it Tag against Buriram? Buriram was trying to do something at the very last minute, but unfortunately, they were the one who got wiped out instead. And that was actually kind of shocking to me because Buriram United Esports, we all knew day one, they were amazing. They were super aggressive. They set the tone, but something went wrong today. I haven't seen the same Buriram that I saw the other day.
Yeah. I mean, I was expecting this. Most of the time, like, we have a three-way battle, especially of this. We're expecting a ring around the Rosie, but I guess they didn't find Rosie at that point, and they met against each other, and Tag was just on that high ground, took down Buriram United together with Loud, and great elevation, though, has been done. Though it is Tag who initiated it, we were expecting that Loud might be able to go in quick, but Team Apex Gaming was just Apex Predator on that final 4v4.
They were literally all over the place, up and down. The movement was very dynamic, very amazing, very impressed.
And for Buriram, I kind of want to go back to that one because this squad, maybe they set too much of an expectation yesterday, would you say, Conchita? Because they did end up getting 3 Booyahs yesterday. I don't think any of us expects them to do that again today.
Yeah, well, again, it's not just yesterday, but it's Buriram United Esports because we all know that they are capable of doing so, and they do come here with a lot of, preparation and vengeance and redemption. So it's not just that we set up a high expectation. We know they can exceed even the expectation that we give them. That is why today I'm actually not feeling it yet for Buriram United Esports. I don't know what it is, but yeah, I think they could do so much better.
I'll have to find out though, because so far the signature is to show them what they have, but be a threat on the board. And Buriram United, like yesterday was just a Booyah. Now it's just the numbers, elimination. So 17 elimination in the first game, 18 elimination in the second game, despite of not getting that Booyah, total points rather. The 10 elimination at second game. Despite of not getting Booyah, they're still in that number 1. But again, some teams are creeping in slowly, and they're making way on what Buriram United managed to pull off, studying their opponents and then bringing them down.
Yeah, especially with what we've been talking in regards to the gaps. If you're just tuning in, if this is for some reason the first time you're watching Free Fire at EWC26, let me just remind you what's going to happen after these matches are done for Group A. The top 4 will be moving on to the grand finals. And let's take a look at those top 4, because right now EVOS is that cutoff point. You can see 139 points. They do have a healthy gap there to GunDynasty, Team Falcons as well. This is one team that I think we were expecting to step it up in the second half, especially coming up soon. Maybe that will be the turnaround for that squad, because they do need to make up points.
Yes, but I don't think 5 points is that healthy, actually, especially with the rest of the game that we have. I'm just not sure that this is quite safe yet for EVOS, so they still have to try somehow to be more consistent, at least in getting those points. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I do agree. I mean, look at that. Century mark in terms of elimination for Buriram United as well. And a lot of teams are trying to do the same thing. They're trying to follow the path that BRU has been playing, but it is difficult right now. Most of them are just playing it with placement point, positioning wise, but BRU just understand what they need to do right now. They are countering. They're going against the flow.
Yeah, but it's also getting ridiculously dangerous for Paradox Gaming. I mean, let's take a look at that. 48 points. They fell behind Titan Esports Club in just 2 games today.
I mean, there's one thing about Paradox Gaming. Hopefully they let go of the aggressive reign, because I think that's where they're failing. Back in the regionals, they're the most aggressive team out of Africa. Now they are, that's going against them. Like, your aggression, especially with teams who have all eyes on you, then you will be the target in most instances. So they just tone it down a little bit, play with placement, and then towards the end, if you get that Booyah or close it, then that's where you'll have that confidence to get all those eliminations.
It's so close too, and those teams towards the bottom, I mean, we just saw what Tag was able to do before this performance. Yes, they have had some good performances, but they were still there within distance of those teams towards the bottom. The last two will end up getting their keys crushed here at Free Fire at EWC26. Now, can they possibly get a Booyah? That's what we're gonna be looking at, especially those teams towards the bottom, because they got absolutely nothing to lose. They know what's at stake, Conchita. Yeah. Either they get a Booyah or they go home.
But one thing that I do realize today is something has shifted between all of the teams that are playing in the A group. Yesterday, it was all about aggressiveness. It was all about showing up, showing strength. But today, they are playing it a little bit more strategically. They are trying to be more consistent in terms of collecting elimination points instead of just, you know, showing up with a bang.
You gotta get those elimination points.
Yeah.
You wanna get that Booyah. That's just what we're after. I mean, yesterday we even had a competition in regards to those Booyahs, and we've been seeing the comments that you guys have been posting on social media. You guys actually heard us use that hashtag EWC, and if I'm not mistaken, we might be featuring some of your guys' stuff right now. I'm intrigued to see what which teams are gonna be biased towards. We're totally not biased whatsoever here on the desk.
So not. We're supporting everyone.
It's not like we want all the top teams to continue to do great and take that performance, but you can see it right there towards the bottom. X-Tunis says trap.
कितना टाइम लगेगा यार स्टार्ट होने में? पहला दूसरा मैच जल्दी करवा दिया, अभी तीसरे के लिए टाइम ले रहे भाई. Karika, there AG will qualify in the group stage or not? Will they play today like a beast?
Every team is putting in the Steffi to prevent all those grenades. So I hope that we see those great bombers right now being capitalized.
Because then maybe we have a different narrative here that will play like beasts today.
But I so agree, because then again, this is the Esports World Cup. Of course, we have to play our best. We have to give the best mentality, the best performance. That is what we expect, and nothing else.
So, that's exactly what we want from each
and every single one of the team that is competing today.
I love this prediction there towards the bottom. AG.AL, Loud, or EVOS. They didn't want to pick one. They're like, you know what? Let's throw 3 of the best teams out there from Group A and see which one actually ends up winning the championship. And I don't blame him, because right now there's so many teams being able to step up. We're looking at Demon's Pride on the screen. I know Pakistani fans were expecting a lot more out of this squad that is the champions from Pakistan. Can they possibly do it? That is the big question mark. What are we going to be looking for them to do different? I know we've been talking about the playing styles that we've been seeing out of their squads, maybe playing a little bit too passive, maybe being a little bit too aggressive. Neptune, what are you looking for Demon's Pride to do?
Well, we know that for Demon's Pride in their region, they can be aggressive. They can be tactical as well. But again, there's a lot of teams who has read that already, who has been years ahead of them.
Yep.
So Demon's Pride just needs to stay in the edge right now. Use all the utilities that they have, especially those innocuous skills. If they want to get a safe spot into the next phase or each phase of the circle, use those R-funds, use those vernacular scans, so that at least you'll have a clear view of whether you're heading into danger or just in a safe spot. But that's only not only that, there's also those launch pad that is available depending on the map or which map we're playing in. If I'm not mistaken, our next map would be in Kalahari. So this is where those hook guns will be important. Their entry and exit would be much quicker compared to just walking around or running around.
Now, one of the teams that Demon's Pride is currently hunting down is none other than Titan Esports Club.
Yep.
Conchita, what do they need to do to make sure they don't get hunted down and end up on those bottom 2?
Of course. I mean, the trend that we've been seeing, not just from today, but the match day yesterday, is that you don't actually have to secure a Booyah. You can just consistently earn the placement points, that elimination points. So I think that should be the objective that Titan Esports Club is focusing right now, instead of trying to, get into a fight, a huge fight with any other team. Just try to make it more safe. more strategic because I think if we're comparing skills and individuals, they do have what it takes to endure the game, Neptune.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, Thailand Esports Club, I think they need Blade to be as sharp as ever. It needs to be...
Wait. Just gonna take a second. Can we please go back to that player? Because he was just relaxing. He was in the mood. If I'm not mistaken, that was AG.AL. And they were saying that now, after the performances that they saw, they're looking to be the champions. They're feeling that confidence. And boy, are they. Sorry, Neptune. We had to point that out. Now you can go back to it.
It's just chilling like a villain right there. But anyways, going back to the point, I mean, Blade needs to be as sharp as ever. Get all those eliminations in, get that information on those rush. But again, it's not those careless rush. They need to be strategic. Kalahari is one of those wherein they can capitalize on their snipers to find their position first. But again, it's one thing it's a good thing that we are now on day 2 because they can review what happened in day number 1, especially in this map of Kalahari. And well, despite of not having that much of a gameplay in specific maps, at least they have a general idea of where the other teams are dropping or rotating.
Let's take a look at the overall once again, just to make sure everybody's aware of what's happening right now. GunDynasty, I feel like today we really haven't seen the GunDynasty that we saw yesterday.
True, because not only they haven't secured a Booyah, but the points that they keep on getting the other day, that is something that we haven't seen today. I think that is exactly the problem with the way that the other teams are playing. They're no more showing aggressiveness. They are playing it more smartly, and I think that kind of messed with GunDynasty's plan and strategy. Yep. So it's time for them to adapt now, because actually they were one of the team that were very disruptive the other day. Now they are the ones who has to follow the rules, quote unquote.
Yeah, exactly. I think the day number 1, they have that element of surprise.
Yeah.
GunDynasty just brought in the big gun dynasty.
Ooh. See what you did there.
Yeah. Well, it's his uncle in me. But anyways, going back. So they have that element of surprise. They were not caught off guard from yesterday. They have a lot of potential of elimination. But now, give these teams a day's rest, a day's chance of studying your opponent, and this is what you happen. Like, look at GunDynasty. They only got what, 4 or 2 points out of game number 1, and then only 6 points on game number 2. It's not looking good for them, but it's a good thing that they managed to stack it up from yesterday.
And right now, with the team being in,
but aim at GunDynasty, they only got 6 points on.
But we haven't really seen the Booyah out of EVOS at any point. Remember, these are the defending champions of EWC, especially for Free Fire. Can the pressure end up getting to EVOS?
I think there's a possibility that yes, the pressure is on. They are feeling it right now, because just the other day I had a conversation with some of the casters, and they do tell me that I think it's going to be very difficult for EVOS this time, just looking at how they're doing at the regional, how this year has been for them. But deep inside, I do believe that they know exactly what they're getting themselves into. I mean, we can actually see the maturity coming from some of the players, especially Russia. We saw how he did that one-man show thing, right, at the previous game.
Yeah.
He handled that really well. We didn't see him as a teenager. We saw him as a this, a veteran that is just know exactly what to do and can handle any situation. So hopefully.
क्या बोल रहा बोल? कुछ नहीं. क्या? ठीक ही है. हमारा तो ठीक ही है. बस चल रहा है. चल साले, कभी तू अपने देता है, बढ़वे ले लेके बस रख लेता है. मांगा है तूने, दिया है क्या? भाड़ खाओ. अरे चल सिखा मत. नहीं मुझे नहीं चाहिए ना, जब चाहिए होता तब कोई बढ़वा देता नहीं ना। अरे अभी वो मैंने करके देखा, मांग के देखे, मांगने से बेटे वो याद नहीं आएगा ना तेरे को। अरे वो तो मैं जब मांगता तो नहीं होता है, ठीक है जाने दे।
Get into top.
तो तेरी अब मेरी कहाँ गई? तो उधर ही जाके मरा ना। कहीं नहीं, क्या करूँ फिर उसमें, सबके जब दुखी चल रहे थे। कौन बोला? वाह भाई, नहीं मालूम। तेरा बन हुआ तब? हाँ हमारा भाई, मैं क्या करूँ, मैं डिप्रेशन में कहाँ। नहीं नहीं, हम नहीं होते डिप्रेशन। लेट्स गो गाइस, अभी मैचेस होने वाले स्टार्ट। चलो गाइस, एक मिनट, साउंड कहाँ गया इसका?
That will rally everybody to look forward to making it to the finals, and with that we start our match 9 here at Esports World Cup 2026 Paris. And it looks like Group A, which was supposed to be the group of death, is also becoming a little bit of a comeback for some of the teams to get out of the chopping block.
There might be still some big separations between 6th and 7th spot. Falcons still being the gatekeeper there, but Team Apex Gaming has proven that those Booyahs, they make a lot of difference. They shoot up to the 7th spot. But when we look at some individual stats, the Wonder Kid Rasha still tops the chart with the most eliminations at 36, Trap and Sci-Fi sharing 33 apiece, which means that these key players are always going to be the biggest difference makers, like what we've seen in the first 2 games. But now we head into Kalahari, and I'm looking at one team to take it back home, and I hope that that is going to be EVOS.
You hope for EVOS, the fans hope for their favorite team.
Chalo guys, Paradox versus DP.
Demon's Pride, they're still at the chopping block. They've not made their move. Paradox
Oh,
also
Paradox.
It seems like Enrique is in trouble.
A bit of a tap dance dead. Enrique still heading up for safety. Paradox. Are there any resistance? Jazzy has already chased down Enrique.
Let's go.
First blood achieved by Demon's Pride. Paradox with the instant
Revive
revive
कर दिया यार.
with the chase down too. That's sneaky gone. 2 for Demon's Pride, but finally some clapback.
But it's not a pick, it was just a knock, and therefore Demon's Pride will still be happy. They'll be getting 3 eliminations at the end of this fight at Foundation, but there's more that they have to pick up in case they don't want to be eliminated. Those keys are dreams to a lot. And coming out from Pakistan, just one dream is theirs to stay alive, go to the survival stage, and it's not going to be easy because now in front of them there's Loud. And Trap is the second best in the highest eliminations just after Russia. So it's going to be even more tougher. However, his teammates are not close by.
I mean, as we get closer to the halfway point, things are starting to feel a lot more surreal by the second. Especially like you said, the dreams, right? These dreams come at the cost of someone else's. EVOS, despite having more of a tougher game too, we did hear what Conchita said. The survival instinct of the one decade kept them alive for longer than they should have. Just, humanly
Aurora.
possible trap with the pickup on the Madara. And even with TAG that had a Booyah in the last game. Woke something up in Aurora who wants to follow in their footsteps. As KD God that gets chased down. Zuez on the case. And a full wipeout here, TAG. From riches to rags.
This is not the result they would have expected. After getting a Booyah instant wipeout, but Aurora also needs something to say for their fans. Out of Malaysia, it's not an easy run that they've had. They've not made it to many of these stages. And finally coming out, they want to make a wave and they do it. Maybe even Neptune mentioned, the hook comes coming in, the game is going to be faster, the sniper's going to try and battle it out, and the CQC, it'll be undefendable.
When we last checked in on the overall ranking, GunDynasty pushed out a top 4. Currently sitting in 5th spot. First 2 games hasn't been kind, and it seems like it will only get worse as Benel hasn't really found anything. Same for Vegas. And in front of them is BRU, the worst possible entity to go up against in this case. AG.AL dispatches of Paradox Gaming's members.
Sneaky, he's also been spotted. It's going to be trouble. He's the last one. Is he close to the vending machine? He's making a run for it. I'm not sure how many coins he has. There you go. He has 1,100. So he should be able to bring back some of his teammates. But you can see AG.AL, they're already a run. They do not want to let Sneaky survive. And Sneaky is just running across the compounds to figure out if he can dabble around, confuse the opponents, but it doesn't seem like it's happening. And very soon he will be found and Paradox will be put to an end.
And that's already 3 teams removed from the lobby. Good timing of 4 minutes. Lao gets a full revive here, courtesy of Trap. Falcons actually running into Aurora as well, who earlier on got the wipeout. The previous Booyah team, which was Team Apex Gaming. And I mean for Aurora, on a good day, the only thing that holds them back is that recklessness, right? That bloodlust sometimes causes them to kind of tunnel vision. EXO getting brought back, they should be fine. In fact, it is a fair fight if Aurora gets into a 3v3 against Falcons. Corona does get tagged by Zuez. And On Fire called in as reinforcement with the Trogon in hand. And Zuez will now have to take that fight on. Coming in close, but On Fire is the one that gets the chip damage in.
Falcons with GunDynasty not having their day, they should be there opening an opportunity. Zuez could have been taken down, but On Fire quick on that glue wall. But finally his teammate is there, Kiroro answers. And that's going to be another added on elimination, a second coming in for them. But on the other end, damage leader Trap has been besting rushers, youngsters, and he's still been leading the front. But finally Ray puts him down, not giving him enough chance right now, at least here on Kalahari. But we know the squad, they rally up quickly, they will get him back up. But on the other end, EVOS, after the first 2 unfortunate games that they've had, they would want to pick up points themselves as well, because they're the defending champions. They are now close to being pushed down if Falcons make it to the top 4.
Absolutely, and even for Aurora, this is going to be a tough game because they are getting picked up by multiple teams and having to invest resources in their revive. Demon's Pride still in the last spot as of yet, found their 4-point. I think in this case, right, we've seen Demon's Pride in the first 2 games itself. They kind of went out on a whimper, right? They came in, they get a couple of eliminations. But I think it's about time we talk about the placements for them, because some of the first 2 lobbies, wipeouts didn't happen early on. It's not like Kalahari where we've already lost 3 teams, about to be potentially 4 as Lao are on their last legs. So that means that for Demon's Pride, sure, you're getting eliminations, but if we don't get that injection of placement, you are going to be in that bottom 2 because they have been racking up some digits.
I really like that you brought the point of placement points because it's going to now get crucial.
I game restart कर दो यार फिर.
There is
फिर
no
से game start
in-between
करो.
day before your grand finals. If you
सारा
already
फिर
make it
से
to the finals,
TAG को
and
मिलेगा
especially at
मौका.
that time your placement points count, you need to get closer to the champion rush condition, and if you don't, other teams will make it closer, and the Booyah seals the deal of that key and the shield finding a new home.
Yeah, and it has happened across multiple regions. I mean, we look back at 2025 spring for SCA. It was Onyx that got that win when no one thought they would, right? We call it the Onyx incident. The same happened for the regional USA where...
Do you ever get halfway through an edit and realize that you're missing the best shots? Luckily, Envato has everything I need.
The most is it really hits home the cliche saying, it's not how you start. It's in the grand finals, but if a team that hits champion rush at 90 points gets the Booyah, they are going to be the champion, and you will only come in second for your efforts.
I'm pretty sure nobody would want to take #2 because we know how devastating it is, especially that the champion can walk away with 3 keys.
Restart game हो जाए फिर से पूरा game ही restart
to their trophy while being crushed. And that is something that esports brings the rawness out of every player, every team. And that's the best part of it. It creates a system of rivalry that they want to again go for an achievement and take them down the next time. But for now, as they're here in the moment, they have to get it going. Quick pause that we have before we resume. Kalahari has already seen 3 teams out of the play, but Buriram, they are on top of it this time. They've been quick to get 7 eliminations. They would want to do a lot more, because every other team, they've been taking it away in the first 2 games that we witnessed, and especially at today's halfway mark for Group A here at Match 9, and after this, just 3 more games. And if anybody wants to get back on the race, make sure they're safe and sound. They need to deny the points to the top 4 teams.
Yeah, and I think in the worst case scenario, if a team really has no more chance, and this is probably when we get into match 5 and 6 for day 2, you can play spoilers.
Yeah.
You can ruin the chances. Kick someone out of top 4. Force them to play 10 more games tomorrow.
There's already GunDynasty who have missed their mark today. They've not been able to perform in the first 2. They're already in the 5th spot. Falcons, they should have been the best ones to take that 4th spot away, but that's not happened yet.
And I think the worst case right now, I mean, the situation gets worse for GunDynasty, right?
Yeah.
The first 2 rounds, middle of the pack, just gently pushed out of top 4 by EVOS. I say gently, but there was more, there's a double-digit difference. They just got wiped out.
Yeah.
And I think our panel did say, our host, Barney and Luti did mention that during the team walk-ins that the team that, finishes top of the group, they get the privilege of operating the Crusher.
Oh!
It's 2 keys, but still,
Yeah, those are 2 dreams.
You hold the dreams in the palm of your hands.
That's a lot. That's a lot as a responsibility, but at the same time, to see your chances just being crushed, powdered down, and I don't think anybody would want it, but that's how Group A, that's how terrifying Group A has been since yesterday. And even Conchita mentioned this, right? Such a drastic change between Group A's performance on day 1 and day 2 of how teams have become tactical, strategic, thinking about their chances, thinking about the number of points they need, thinking about can they make it out and survive further.
Yeah, and I do enjoy the effort of some of the teams, some of the unproven regions. We saw TAG, but we put Pakistan in the conversation, Demons prior, Paradox from Africa, Titan Gaming as well, DRS, basically those at the bottom. Even Aurora, they're coming out a little bit more harder. They're coming out with more aggression and sure, double-edged sword, but they're getting the work done, right? This is some of the initiative that I think took them some time to get used to, but now, when the tension breaks, you see Demons probably coming out with a couple of eliminations and they need to patch that up with the placement points.
I like that there is a little bit of a tension break also in this pause happening on stage. We ended up seeing the 6-7 and DRS. They have a total of 67 points.
We were literally talking about this, right? Like, are we going to get an opportunity to be like, oh, this, you know, BRU, they have 161 points, and then we moved down the list, and it was like, oh, DRS 6-7. Yeah, wish dreams do come true on this stage.
Yeah, for us as well. Something that we wished for earlier, it happens.
And it transcends generation. I think that is the best part right here. Of course, we are going to have it sorted out, and it's good that, you know, it's still in the first phase, right? I say in the first phase, we lost 3 teams. It's
and Kalahari.
And it's Kalahari.
It's very brutal.
break दे दे भाई, restart कर दो यार game.
It's an open terrain. Everybody just has an
exit करो सब लोग, exit करो game.
Because we could see, right, the run coming in from Paradox's Sneaky. He was trying to move away from AG.AL as much as possible. Unfortunate, no vending machine. He was trying to confuse them, and it still did not work out because AG.AL, there was nothing that Sneaky could hide on. Buildings clearly seen, windows all open, and whenever Sneaky jumped around, they could even spot him and eventually close the distance and put him down. So that's going to happen throughout the game of Kalahari for every team.
Yeah, I was making an observation, and I wonder if we call for Moshi, will he wake up? Sir, you still have a couple more games to go. So no nap time for you guys. I was going to see, I mean, I think the wait is going to be the more nerve-wracking part for these teams, right? It's also a matter of, like, you get into the groove, things are going well, and then someone slams on the brake.
I really like how the storyline itself for Group A has kind of shifted. When we started, we were kind of talking, I think this is going to be an easier decision made for us.
Right.
We're going to be casting. The top 4 teams are already sitting there. They should be easily qualifying. GunDynasty in that top 4. But all of a sudden, things have changed. Falcons might have a chance. EVOS have not found the best of points. Yes, they're sitting at a total of 141, but that's not completely pretty. If GunDynasty end up finding a big game, EVOS don't. EVOS get put out after having only 1 Booyah, and they still are not their defending champions, will be pushed to the survival stage. So much changing in Group A, completely unexpected.
I think it's a good time to also kind of expand on the conversation about GunDynasty, right? Because, you know, we saw the interview. They don't feel the pressure. It feels like home. You know, they are very confident and very warranted in the confidence off of day one. But you also told me back in the green room that there's a good chance that GD falls out of top 4. And I want to expand on that.
Now, the main reason, right? This is something that I've seen in circuit of Free Fire, that some of the teams have a lot of energy coming in, a lot of aggression, and it transcends into points. But day 2 is when they have to keep that consistency going on. But by that time, teams get exhausted. Their playbook falls short, and I think maybe a tad bit for GunDynasty, that's the main factor to affect. To add on to that, that's where I thought Ali, they should have a chance today later in our Group B matches, just because they had aggression on the stage. Yes, they were not happy with the result because they also almost had a Booyah, but that also helps them refine those mistakes that they did yesterday, maybe to qualify today.
Yeah. And again, the detail on the plaque, nothing is given, everything is earned, written in the native language of EVOS. In this case, it's Bahasa Indo, and it applies to across the entirety of EWC, across the game titles, and it's in the native language of the team that wins it. It'd be great to see it maybe in Portuguese if a Brazilian team brings it back. There is a good chance that has been the story. And I think, you know, the interesting part is always that we look at the Thailand as the best region.
Yeah.
And that's only because we see them more often. But we get onto that world circuit, suddenly Brazil is in the conversation, and the
ऐसा क्या है टेक्निकल इशू की भाई इतना टाइम लग रहा है एग्जिट कराओ गेम फिर से स्टार्ट करो
take BRU down, we own the world, but now it's the entirety of Thailand. Indonesia starts to step up, and I dare say South Asia, India, Nepal, Pakistan have a dang good chance of making something happen. But I mean, even for Demon's Pride, smiles on her face, completely different from the walk-in where they, where you know you can feel that nervousness. Now, I think they're just enjoying the moment, and maybe that's the best way to survive another day.
I think that's something while we were back in the green room, we all were talking, right? Some of the teams need to have some fun. Even Neptune mentioned this. you have to take these games at least with a bit of fun. If you don't, if there's too much in terms of thought put into it, a lot being, I would say, relayed between each other, a lot of talking that you should be doing this should have gone better, and all of those thoughts will eventually make you a lot more nervous, anxiety running high. That will end up messing your performance. And I think it's time to have a little bit of fun, to bring back the game that you use in your own region, where you top your region. That has to be brought back. That element, you have to isolate yourself. Like, I think that's what GunDynasty were channeled into yesterday. If they channel back that, today they should be back in the top 4 and pushing competition out.
Yeah, if we have seen TAG achieve that history for the region of India with that very first world stage Booyah, I think Demons Pride has a good chance, right?
Yes.
We were going through the narrative and you were telling me that, you know, as much as we see hot shot on the world stage 2 years in a row, Demons Pride, you know, were technically the better team, but they just couldn't be the ones that qualify. Well, now they made it here.
Yes, they
made it here. And if they are the rightful ones, they're the ones that, you know, deserve that spot. It's a long time coming. Took them 3 years. Here they are. But so far, the team feels like it has been slightly reoccurring, right? With the region still at the bottom, and I'm looking at Demons Pride to change that.
One more region to change this fact.
I
want to see Titan Esports Club. They're the giants of the region. Even expected Straw Hats, but as of now, it's now worked out. But Loud, the last one, BZP gets picked out, and that's going to be an end for Loud Snickers here on Kalahari.
Yeah, even when we look at the replay here, Benel just had no way out, and that was the wipeout onto GunDynasty as well. That is a major setback. The captain of BRU turning it up when it's needed. And they have found DRX Pratik also removed. I believe that is maybe 4 teams out of the lobby already. Loud actually got picked off screen.
Yeah. Last player, just as the game.
JTXZ Paradox, Loud.
Did not have a chance to go in for a revive, and this is how brutal as we get to the halfway mark.
नीचे की सारी टीमें मर जाता मत सही
In
रहेगा.
terms of the 6 games they had, but they're already at
और जो
match
टॉप
9.
पे
3
वही
more
Booyah
games
करे तो
left,
ठीक है.
deciding the fate of whether they qualify directly into the finals or they'll be pushed to the survival stage or completely knocked out of the tournament itself. But still, Loud's captain, Trap, who was there with an interview on stage, still being the player at the 2nd spot with the most eliminations next to Russia at 33. That says a lot about Loud.
And even the first time when we saw Trap playing on that big stage, we know that this guy is a very aggressive guy, very full of energy. Likes to go in aggressively like a madman. Sometimes doesn't pay off, but it's something that has given Loud that personality and value in times of need. Titan Gaming not doing that good. TEC, excuse me, not doing that good as well. One last survivor with the Morse Dew taking out Jazzy. AG.AL pushes forward. Demons Pride. This is the ultimate test if they can make it any further. But with Aswap being taken down and Madara removed as well. He's only top 16.
Aurora को कोई मारो बे पकड़ के.
Keep it alive. The revival does come through. Only enough for one, but one is better than none.
Yeah. It's better than completely getting eliminated. Top 16 position, yes, no, and they are surrounding him, making sure he has nowhere to run. And that was a quick movement coming through. That was just distraction over there for top 16. And he'll also be picked up. AG.AL scoring total 8 elimination, 4 going in for Dew, and Dew has been phenomenal today. The sniper coming into play. They start off with the very first Booyah, and they're continuing those spree of eliminations.
I mean, Dew has always been the player that, no matter what happens to a roster, you want him to be the constant. And
Aurora को कोई मारो भाई पकड़ के.
so many years, I remember first time seeing Dew, it was back in 2022, and they came close.
Falcons versus EVOS.
That was taken by BRU under the leadership of Jonah.
Falcons मार दो Falcons को.
And you just say there is the race between Falcons and EVOS, and so far EVOS are winning. Im got forward with the hook gun to hunt for more of those Falcons members. Limit X7 out of it, but Kororo unfortunately still exposed.
It's going to be tough for him to run away. Ray's gotten closer. This tower is not going to protect him. He's trying to use the edges. The Kalahari. It's not going to work out. Kororo's completely surrounded now. Can he isolate the duels throw? No dash as available for Im God. He used it all to make it here. Damage being done, and finally
Let's go. लेकिन तब भी एक निकल गया यार Falcons का.
Making sure the competitors for them in the top 4 run are going to be vanquished. They'll be shut down, making sure Falcons move to the survival stage and not take away their very own position at top 4.
We did sort of establish this. This could be a EVOS Memon Kalahari. Ezreal
Revive कर दिया बे on fire को कोई मारो भाई. Aurora को भी मारो कोई.
One of the few imports we have for a Malaysian team. In fact, the very first player that was imported was Crime MKS from Indonesia. And ever since then, it has been working well, you know, improving the ecosystem over the years. And I'm happy that Aurora has made this change and made this move. And not just bringing in Ezreal, but giving rookies 2 years ago like Zuez and the EXO, the veteran, to lead them. And it has paid off so far. But of course, it's more to be desired if Aurora wants to catch up.
Yeah. There's a lot more to be desired, but the circle has its own desires of troubling teams. Moving completely northwestern, and none of the teams are inside the circle. Everybody's trying to use their binoculars, but nobody's getting a hit inside the circle because there's nobody at foundation. And finally, EVOS, they decide that's going to be our position, our command post, which has also not seen action so far like Refinery, even though there are teams. It seems a little surprising that we've not seen Refinery and command post being a hotspot.
Yeah. At least for this game, it's because the circle doesn't favor it, right? If not, BRU is going to be there until, you know, ends of the world. Moshi finding Aswap. Refinery is going to be the next control point that BRU wants to wrestle over. Top 16.
भाई यार इंडिया बताओ अरे गेम रिस्टार्ट हो गया तो कितना मजा आएगा था भाई.
Got out of a tough situation earlier on from AG.AL's Jaws, only to run into another Thai Titans. And now it's everyone for themselves.
On the other end, it's going to be DRS trying to go in for a second chance. Titan Esports Club, they're about to lose their players. Blade is down. Seems like he's not going to be sharp enough today. Neptune mentioned he has to be for the team. But another loss for Titan Esports Club. Kutosh and Najat, they're way too far away, and DRS will be happy about these eliminations. And Titan Esports Club might have made it out of the chopping block for the time being, but it's not going to be enough. If Demon's Pride end up finding points, they might decide to rank up. 57 is where Titan Esports Club is sitting at. Demon's Pride is at 46. Paradox out of this game at least. So if Demon's Pride have an opportunity to score at least 8-9 points, they can instantly take the position away from Titan Esports Club.
Or at least kick Paradox down to last place, which technically they've already accomplished. It's a scary thought, and if you add on top of that, if DRS starts getting some points, then we form the separation between them and the bottom three. And it's a scary thought if you are Titan Esports Club in this point of time. But I guess blessing in disguise is that DP, they have been struggling quite a little bit in the hands of the Thais. BRU finding Blade again, who just got brought back. So
BRU भाई मार रही है बस. गाइस जो बंदा स्ट्रीम पे सब लोग लाइक शेयर एंड सब्सक्राइब कर दो यार. एंड डीपी गई शायद नहीं बचा हुआ अभी एक बंदा शायद.
And if that continues, a lot more problem. It seems like Buriram are also spotting Titan Esports Club Rahat. That'll also be quickly picked up by Moshi.
Aurora
on Falcons. Buriram finally going in for a full-on fight. Madara is the last one. He's behind a glue wall. Jonah has already called it. And the entire squad is rushing to him. And with him going down, that's the end for Demon's Pride. They wanted to rank up. They wanted to get eliminations. But it seems like Titan Esports Club, the worry at least on Kalahari, will die down.
They have one more chance at least. Blessed by BRU.
Aurora को कोई मारो भाई.
17 eliminations and counting. Now it's the move to Foundation. At least to the western side of Foundation. You have Kororo planted right in the middle, but Falcons suffered some heavy damage. And in fact, Kororo is the only survivor, so they should be a non-factor if you are concerned about Team Falcons. TEC split up, which we did see, and Aurora on the radar as well. This is quite the clear path to push through. They have stragglers like members from TEC and Falcons to get a couple of free points. They could start with Rahat if they want.
Buriram now a little trouble because AG.AL have started to fire.
Rahat or Blade.
On the other end, Aurora trying to hold off at the edge of the circle, but the circle will also start shifting as the zone is completely shrink. They'll only wait and try to see if they could spot somebody. In the meanwhile, at a distance, that's going to be EVOS fighting for elimination. And EVOS, we spoke about them, they had the advantage inside the circle. They laid their foundation, but unfortunately, the circle did not allow it. It forced them. Apex will still be able to find Takure is out. And now on Buriram as well, EVOS still firing, finding elimination and also helping out.
Mostly last player.
And again, for the third game in a row, the circle forces everyone to go into the open as the ultimate test. AG.AL on your screens, 11 eliminations, and the second one could be confirmed if they remove Ray, but Ray gets picked back up Cypher instantly with a double up and putting immense pressure on the EVOS Divine, forcing those blue walls out. Russia has already ran out of that. Defenses dwindling for EVOS. AG.AL continuously just spraying lead at them. ABAX needs some help. AG.AL finds another one.
Everybody needs help right now, even DRS.
Falcons gayi.
Aurora gets taken down. That's the end
Aurora
of it.
chal raha.
Aurora now trying to climb up, but it's going to be difficult. They don't have any vision above, no information, so running up is going to be difficult. And finally, EVOS do not allow that. With Axel going down, a lot more trouble strikes Aurora. And now EVOS also deciding to send off in the other direction because the zone is not in their favor. But before that, they will have to clear the position. They spotted two different teams, but they're only spotting the players. They don't know it's two different teams. And Titan Esports Club, that's going to be Blade getting taken down. Cypher from AG.AL helping out in the mix. Azriel trying to back off, join his teammates. AG.AL in the mix, making sure that EVOS don't survive. But rush up, he puts Azriel down, confirms, but it's going to be DRS stealing it away. Knocks from somebody, eliminations from somebody, but who is winning it? It is
Aurora
AG.AL with EVOS together.
Aurora.
And Jun just didn't know where to look, and that ends out in his death. Dew another snipe with an aim gun, and finally the Wonder Kid has had enough. He comes back, shoots Dew down, and EVOS have a good chance. 4v3, they have the weaponry. Raiders get dropped by Nameless, and make it even. Aim God down in health, Apex is down. Nameless putting everything into his hands, and he might be the one that drags them across the finishing line. Nameless with the support, Aim God now all alone. Barros is there by his side, and Cypher with the final nail in the coffin. 20 eliminations. AG.AL books the second Booyah.
Second Booyah of the day, and AG.AL are making sure they seal the deal in the top 4. Do not give the chance, especially with these top teams already taking away the points. It's getting very dicey down there for teams at the bottom. They don't know what they have to figure out. Match number 9 is done. 10, 11, 12, 3 more games to go. And at the end of it, keys are going to get crushed, meaning your opportunities here in EWC 2026 in Paris, at least with this season, is done.
Almost done. We're about to close the chapter on 2 of these boats. The halfway point being crossed means that pressure starts to set in for the teams at the bottom, potentially in the red zone. But I gotta say, EVOS, sure, no Booyah, but they held on for so long. In the battle of attrition, they were on the losing side, and this was the spirit that got them that trophy lift last year, and we're seeing it on display again. Despite no Booyah, they still, I think, walk away with a win.
Yeah, and somehow they've always been balancing themselves against Falcons, because Falcons, as long as they survive, they have a chance in the top 4, and EVOS could be pushed down and they would have to move to the survival stage. And I think somehow they haven't read about it. The White Tigers are able to find their way through, and they are still keeping themselves afloat in the top 4. However, AG.AL, I think we spoke about this, looking forward to placement points, looking forward to Booyah is what you have to ideate, especially as you make it to the champion rush.
Yep. Let's listen to what AG.AL has to say.
มาดิงานสลิงงานปีนตายหมดโอ้ยเฮียกูยิงอย่างเวอร์ไอ้สัตว์ฉะนั้นผมไปบ้า
Cool, calm, collected. It's a bit of a stretch of the arms. Just another day in the office for AG.AL.
Yeah, it didn't seem like they were very hasty, or there was a lot of rapid comms, if I could say it.
Yeah, it's
cool,
just
calm,
like
connected.
Oh, we get the Booyah.
Yeah, you do this. There's a man here. That's about it. That's I think the basic understanding we got.
I think so too. I mean, these boys have been together for quite a long time.
Yeah, that's true.
Took a while to kind of assemble. Well, it didn't take that long to assemble the squad, but it took a while to really build that chemistry. It's paying off. I mean, 32 points is a dream to even hit 30 points in a single round.
Yeah.
Usually these are the sort of the deal breakers. This is what decides who wins the championship or who gets ahead of the curve. AG.AL, they come in with 32, but we did talk about EVOS, 27 points, not too shabby. BRU, 26. The front runners are still there.
Opportunities for everybody. On the other end, if you look at the bottom page, Demon Sprite, they did have a little bit of a lift-off, 7 total points, 4 elimination. Loud Snickers, their opportunities are getting pushed out by some of the teams. The fights, especially between Falcons as well as EVOS, is troubling them, and they're getting eliminated a little too early. However, one thing that we've been talking about, right? Thailand taking away the trophy, even on the world stages, even here on EWC, even Indonesian teams now rising up the ranks. But AG.AL, they've been winning in the region. They want to get a big trophy, a global one. Can they do it? Looking at how now they've built up on day 2, there is a storyline that could be written.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I'm looking at the players, and I think even GunDynasty are starting to feel the heat, right?
Yeah,
like
yeah.
Again, 3 rounds in a row. This was a team that came in hot. They were tailing MIBR.LOS. We talk about if we put placement points aside, technically GunDynasty is the better team compared to BRU because they have no Booyahs compared to the 3 that BRU has. But I think right now we have a bigger problem, a bigger question for them, right?
Yeah.
Is day 1 it? Is that it? We got 3 more games coming up.
Yeah. I hope GunDynasty change their approach because they still have a chance. With 3 more games left here for Group A, there's an opportunity, but looking at how these teams are fighting, right, especially the Southeast Asian teams, they are going all guns blazing. They're looking unstoppable, and they're not giving points to anybody to even approach for. And that is unfortunately not giving them an opportunity to look forward to a lot more. However, opportunities right across this breather for everybody.
Barney and Ludi, we accept your challenge here in Kadia City at the Golf Predetermined Tournament. Lace and Glitter, we are going to challenge you and beat your score, but not without a prize.
Yeah, you know, it feels like it might be a little bit rigged in favor for Barney, but I really want the prize Lace is talking about because we are going to get an EWC 2026 custom printed t-shirt with our name on it, or the name of the winner, really, you know. So that's what I'm aiming for.
Yeah, and we want to win because we love competition. So let's fire away, Glitter. Come on, stand over here. Get the position down. We have to beat these boys. All right, looking great. Play golf. Ready? Okay, 9, 8, 7, 6. Don't be nervous. 5, 4, 3, 2. Got to beat the boys. All right, she's got some incredible form here, and all she needs to do is aim for the flag. Not too much power in the positioning here, but it looks like it's going directly there. A fair bit of power behind it. This looks like a good one.
Okay, I'm actually pretty proud of that. I'm not mad about that. 90.5, that does put me above Barney. Lace, I know you can do the same. It does help to limber up a bit, you know? And the tips that I found is, you know, just ignore the audience, okay? Yep, not too much power, not too little power. Just the right amount. Yeah. Keep your eye on the ball. Envision it going towards the pin. You can do this, Lace. We gotta show the boys. Oh, it's looking good. No, it's okay. It's getting close. Rolling in. Oh, you did beat Ludi. You did beat Ludi, though, to be fair. Not too shabby, Lace.
I mean, look, as long as we beat them, that's fine. But of course, we want to challenge our next people. We're looking at you, Seven and Neptune. Are you up for the challenge?
We're definitely up for that challenge. Don't you worry, we'll be able to beat the scores that you guys were able to beat. But one team that's currently challenging everybody is none other than AG, because my gosh, this squad has now gotten 2 Booyahs. They might be going for that 3rd one, but the rotations that they were able to do were great.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, they're focusing on the South Stay, making sure that it is clear out of the area, and even contending off those rotation if someone will be coming in. And one thing that they did, especially in the previous game, is in the 5th circle, the moment that it counts down the 5th circle closing in, they triggered that bolt maker, the lightning zone. So it's a threat to everyone and also damage them. So with all those damage, they can also spot out the opponent, and it gives them more of a leeway so that they will not be rushed in. So smart move coming from AG.AL so that they can get that Booyah.
I love that we have one of the best analysts here for Free Fire, none other than Neptune, being able to break down all the rotations, the skills in the game. How about we break down that Booyah curse? Because Tag ended up being affected by that one. Hopefully AG is not going to be affected by it here coming up.
I guess there's a lot of things that they need to change right now, and just to get away from that Booyah curse.
Let's hope that that's going to be the case. Lucifer, Husky, do you think AG.AL is going to be affected by the Booyah curse or no?
I don't think so. There is a chance that they want a title. We've been talking about their counterparts, right? They've been taking these titles, the global ones, the world stages, and AG.AL have always been getting closer, have been getting the #2s, but finally is this the stage? Esports World Cup 2026, all gamers global, actually go global.
I mean, I would say they are already global, but it's about cementing themselves on that stage.
अभी किसका clash हो रहा है?
And only world trophy,
Loud versus Falcon.
was under the category of Clash Squad.
GD versus DRS का हो सकता है क्या?
That's where
DP.
the spirit of Free Fire is
GD versus
initially
DP.
sold from the start of time.
AG
I
go
think for
Bubble
AG.AL, very
field.
good chance. Cypher now second in terms of most eliminations. Still tailing behind the Wonder Kid,
EG
who is in
versus
first
Aurora.
place, but slow overtaking Trap, who unfortunately was wiped out pretty early on. But we still cannot look past the fact that snipers are pretty important. Top 3 most damage are all in the sniper role.
As we head to Purgatory, it seems like the flight path had its own course of mind, completely southern favored. However, still teams managed to make their way around the fields, but the fight already breaks out just because of how unfavorable the flight path was. Loud are trying to answer back to Falcons. It's been an exchange. Trap will be able to get back next. So 2 eliminations for Falcons. And on the other end, we did end up seeing fights that Falcon want to now stand tall on against Loud, and Loud, with those eliminations, they managed to grab on one. Can they find more? GunDynasty, they're against Demon's Pride, but as we see the feed as well, it seems like Team Apex Gaming are now, they're breaking their own curse. They found an opening against Aurora.
Yeah, I want to see the earlier pep talk just now is going to bring some
DP मार
life
बढ़िया एक number.
So far, doesn't seem to be the case. Demon's Pride standing tall, but there is response. Benel, yesterday he stepped up, and now he is stepping up finally after the halfway point. David with a great follow-up. Exactly what GunDynasty needs.
And with GunDynasty back in a play like this, there's an opportunity that they stand a chance to get back to the top 4. A lot more competition getting spiced up just for that position to the final. Demon's Pride, they want to be a part of it, but they're getting hit upon, they're getting taken down, their exchanges are not working their way, they're unable to find much, but still, even though the last player is surviving, they've managed to get 3. But we spoke about this earlier, a replay where Falcons and Loud were exchanging blows one after another. And I can see, it seems like Loud did manage to get 1 elimination. However, Falcons had a better of it, get a total of 4.
Yeah. We even saw Paradox Gaming having a pep talk as well during the intermission. And I think the expressions has changed, right? We look back at some of the player reactions after round 3. Reality is starting to set in that this could be the 3rd last game for some of them, and certainly
Aurora eliminate कर दिया भाई बढ़िया.
Twice today.
Yeah.
Out of 4 matches, 2 of them is Aurora Gaming being the first one to leave.
Revenge ले लिया भाई, revenge.
Yes, they don't look super dicey on points, that they will be pushed out. And their key being crushed, they should make it to the survival stage, but they're not better their chances and led it to the fate of other teams' performance. AG.AL on the other end, I think, as you already mentioned, we were speaking about it. It is Battle Royale that they have to get their hands on, a trophy, a title. But GunDynasty's Benel, this player was a beast yesterday, and today finally, now in this game, gets 2 elimination. He did get the information across to Shairu, who's now stuck at Ski Lodge. And AG.AL seemed to be just chasing that one player who got stuck here, and Shairu will just try and buy time. There's nothing else that he can do. That's just 1 elimination that AG.AL will be able to get. But on the other end, it seems like instantly the feed gets lit up loud. Gosha finds 1 elimination. EVOS getting troubled in this action, and now they're also rushing closer. Nyx moving in the right direction, but there's also Falcons in the mix.
IMGOT actually taking a lot of heat as well. IMGOT does break the wonder kick back, but Limit will take out Ray. Once more brought back by the captain of EVOS. This is what we've seen At least at Esports World Cup, EVOS willing to send the Wonder Kid out
Falcon
on
aa gayi.
expedition, and he holds himself pretty well. Trap actually any remove, so the attention onto EVOS now diverted onto Falcons. They've got trying to take advantage of that, but Pina was ready. Receives the hit, gets another elimination for his own. Apex now committed, comes in, but on fire, lying in wait with Limit.
That flash freeze almost looked like he would be able to find two. Apex, nice try there, quick recovery coming in from Limit.
गलती कर दी उसने आगे
And
पता
even
है.
Neptune mentioned we have to see
आया नहीं होता तो
Limit
नहीं मरा था.
Snipers have been the recent
ऊपर से ही
meta,
मारना
and he
चाहिए
has
था.
to step up for the team. We've not seen the best coming in from his end yet. And maybe Falcons rise up to that occasion. Even EWC, we saw her talking to the Falcons, and it seems like it's not yet working. Keroro, who was about to just land on the roof, will be instantly shut down.
Oh, Russia trying to play some mind games there with the vehicle, but not going to work on Nyx. One of the top stars as well from Brazil. Him and Traps, in fact. That being said, we did see a stat now 4 revives so far this game. Being the field medic and making sure that his team continuously stays alive in this match. It's a good chance that they run into loud Snickers. We'll have to see if GD have found something within them. So far, I mean, haven't really gotten much done this game. And we saw them get off to a good start, 3 eliminations, that's pretty much it. Now we need to see that conversion. We gotta go further. Disappointment and stress on Aurora Gaming's players' face too. That's the toughest part, honestly, sitting through the entire lobby if you exit early.
Well, right now, when you talk about exits, it's been Paradox who've been suffering eliminations. They've been getting pushed out of every game.
कल से करता रहे ऐसा. जो बोल रहा ना मतलब शुरू से ही करो.
And instantly, Enrique, he thought it's going to be the launcher, but it's going to be due on the other end. And we said the sharpshooter due today.
सही बोल रहा. कल से ना कल से करता हूँ. अभी तो कोई मतलब नहीं उतना. फिर इसके बाद 1-2 मैच बचा है फिर. अभी कुछ होने वाला भी नहीं वैसे.
Second win in this game.
अभी रीच वगैरह नहीं जाएगा तो मतलब नहीं करने का.
So far the circle has been ruthless, very merciless today. It seems like it's going to continue to be the case. Brings us to north of Brasilia, and with Fuse as center point. AG.AL now takes on TEC. Blade snapped in half. Rajat down to 10%, bleeding out as well. Knockdown is still with the delivery system, and this time up close and personal.
Kudush trying to make a run from this, but he's walking right towards Team Apex Gaming. It's going to be difficult. Last man standing. If he doesn't survive this, it's going to be an end for Titan Esports Club. Their chase towards making it towards the finals. If there is an opportunity, it has to be the survival stage. And somehow Kudush, in terms of his maneuvering, he's been able to cross between both Team Apex Gaming as well as All Gamers Global and survive for the time being.
Gotta play for placements now. Kudush calming with the rest of his team. He does have coins.
बस कोई हिटलिस्ट ना मारे इसको नहीं तो फिर ये फंसेगा पक्का.
Purgatory is one of the bigger maps we have, and that makes it very, very hard to navigate with no vehicles.
AG.AL आ रही है शायद इधर ही नीचे को जाएगी.
To make things worse, AG.AL still prowling nearby. We took at the rotations. EVOS Esports, the very bottom. BRU still holding on to Quarry and Marble Works, which is their favorite spot on the western side.
कल वाला जोन बन रहा है क्या यहाँ पे?
Spot, in fact.
लग तो रहा है कल वाला ही जोन बनेगा. I think
just a little bit as Limit picks up Nyx again.
कल वाला जोन बन सकता है.
During rotations, even GunDynasty right now, they picked up a total of 7 eliminations. Benel, while we saw him being the medic, he's also managed to get 5 eliminations of his own. That's how brilliant he is. And what a play coming in from Rahat here. A quick replay for Titan Esports Club. A quick drive-by, putting the player out, getting an extra elimination. GunDynasty, they have to find a lot more as such as we just witnessed. But on the other end, it seems like Team Apex Gaming were about to go for a fight, but they're stuck in between two teams. On one NVC, DRS, on the other, that's Demon's Pride. So it's a sandwich situation. They have to get out of it very soon.
I think Paradox also switching it up. This is one of the few games that they are able to really not get into any altercations early on, which is something that they've been trying to avoid. DRS in the crosshairs of David. Yeah, these shots gotta be good. Gotta hit harder, gotta be a bit more sharper. Missed opportunity there for GunDynasty. But now having 6 out of the 8 eliminations for the team. TEC gets full revive. I think GunDynasty's next target is going to be on DRS.
Look at this quick switch that they did. Went to the drop and then they told what was available and sent Benel out there to quickly grab and make their way back. GunDynasty seems like communication in this game is coming into play. The precision as well with Benel performing in such a manner. However, everybody is clustering right now. It's only one team who are out here in purgatory. Levin still surviving. 10 minutes about to be on the clock. And even Falcons are entering into the close compounds. It's a lot of teams clustering one after another. And we'll also soon see a circle shift. Does it favor any of the teams? It does. Those three teams we earlier pointed, the sandwich situation. DRS, Team Apex Gaming and Demon's Pride.
Even GunDynasty has a very good chance. In fact, I think TAG are in the toughest spot in the center. We just see a knockdown early on. Recovery shouldn't be an issue. BRU now see moving to TEC off screen. And I think even for DRS, they have a very good chance of holding back not just GunDynasty, causing some damage to Falcons and EVOS if the rotation is right.
So crucial rotations as we are getting closer to the last few games of Group A. Everybody's trying to buy time. Everybody's trying to buy their own play. Figure out what's the best approach. While we all were thinking at the start of the day, hey, top 4 teams, they will be safe and sound. They do not have to be worried about. They're slowly trying to get worried, except for Buriram as well as All Gamers Global.
Yeah, those two, I think, without a shadow of doubt, have already qualified for Saturday. But then they still want more. Can never get enough points. AG.AL, double digits. 11 counted. Dinoculus used towards the southeastern side. Or at least the north side of fields. Should be able to rotate there. There's a small compound to work with, but better yet, high ground advantage that puts them within range of proximity of Paradox Gaming. And I think the second Dinoculus have confirmed that. There is Falcons there though.
And Falcons are already busy in a fight. That's going to be against Paradox. Windy already down. Sneak trying to fend off. It doesn't work. He'll also be taken down. One last player. He is closer to the vending machine and he'll quickly strike the revive button. And Drendrike will be brought back. Snipe. With that happening, Falcons have an idea of where he is, and Snipe will be sniped out by Limit X7. Nice shot. And that's going to be the 5th elimination for Limit. And this is what Falcons needed. Every sniper out there performing, Limit had to do it.
One of the rising stars a couple years ago. And since then, we know that Limit is special. Look at that. 2 more. No confirmation just yet. No utility dump. More than enough to cause a lot of issues there. Pressure onto AG.AL. Can they continue to deliver? Pina now getting pushed. Sci-Fi in the forefront. Let's have the Cassie helping out. Meanwhile, full team on the GunDynasty has trapped lands a quad nade. But the pressure now mounts onto Limit. As attentions shift, Limit knocked down. And AG.AL breaks the spine and the anchor of Falcons, and that should be it. AG.AL once more
Falcons wipe out.
They always do it. You give them a small inch, they take the whole ground. And Falcons, who are ahead of it, playing outside the zone, get upon it. Their sniper gets taken down with the damage on the zone itself, and All Gamers Global quickly act on it. Kiroro, can he do something different? The last one, and it's going to be Cypher showing his own precision skills. And with that, Falcons are out.
There's a possibility for a 3rd Booyah with how things are going for AG.AL. BRU hasn't really shown much action yet, much activity. Only 1 elimination so far.
Yeah.
As we're down to the last 8 teams. Paradox Gaming, Enrique perishes to the blue. Barrow's actually getting knocked down by the play zone, same as Sci-Fi. Nameless, can he get out of this one? DRS getting some free
DRS से क्या ही तो मारा भाई, जोर में ही नहीं आने दिया.
A hefty price to pay for AG.AL.
Yeah, playing it outside the zone, we've always talked about it. We thought AG.AL were ahead of it. They knew what was about to happen. But DRS, they came in as a surprise. The real soldiers, they want that opportunity. As Titan Esports Club are trying to close the distance, they do not want to give it away. Now they have another challenge that's going to be loud. If they're able to secure some more points, they will not get pushed off by Titan Esports Club because they're still surviving. Look at Trap making a jump. And the distraction works out. VZP with the AC-80 finds an opening. Now Trap with the Winchester from afar, already shooting bullets. And there is Nix with the Max 7 and VZP with the M590 pumping bullets. Pratik and Stroix trying to hold the ground for the time being. And Takure, he has to help out. Two of the loud players are down. Trap is too far away, outside the zone, damage being done. Gosha has to be the savior here. Pratik gets confirmations, but the sniper is not going to help out as Trap is also taken down.
And Guaksha, can he make that clutch happen? That's going to be one.
Oh.
2 more to go, cutting down the ranks, finding isolation. Down to just 50 HP. Takuri around the corner, secures it. DRS lives on.
You have to give the Stroix over there. The way he was able to hold at the edge of the circle. And DRS still keep fighting, taking Loud out. EVOS on the other end, the 1K, the last man standing. And at this point, there's no opportunity. Boltmaker as well. Stealth fights for how long, though? Oh no, Buriram. The team who just held them get some points.
EVOS का अगर player
and that is DRS out and Russia his position revealed and Team Apex Gaming they get that elimination.
Let's go TAG.
TAG have another chance but guess who else has?
क्या?
Demon's Pride.
TAG का Booyah हो सकता है. TAG का Booyah हो सकता है.
Right into the dens of BRU.
मारो मारो BRU को मारो TAG का Booyah रहेगा.
They might be able to get it done and BRU now facing a 4v8 odds. Jonah good on the one. Jassy knocks down. Wasana ready for the rush. Madara shot down as well.
Let's go. चलो rush करो बे rush करो rush करो.
DP by BRU would be the undoing. But guess what, Lucifer? TAG have a chance again.
Once more shot over the dash. Wasana is
Let's go. Second Booyah be.
He finds it and that's a second for Team Apex Gaming. They get the second for India. A Booyah.
And it pays forward. Once was not enough. They joined AG.AL on the leaderboard for the second Booyah. And I think at this point of time, Lucifer, guaranteed survival round. Guaranteed a second life.
They needed this. This is what was in the making for TAG. Team Apex Gaming. The champs from India. They did lift the trophy in India and now it's time they get closer towards an international stage trophy and getting 2 Booyahs in a single day is not an easy job at all.
Years of wishing to have a slot and in the first year, the debut on the biggest stage ever, they lock in 2. And it means just much more just for TAG, for the region itself. I think after today, but after we depart from Paris, they are going to be an inspiration for the rest of India. But final sequences again, TAG, opportunistic in their pursuit of glory, with a little bit of a help from DP, but overall TAG, impressive finisher.
Take knock. 150. ये तो इजी Booyah था. इजी Booyah यार. इजी था. इजी था.
Just like we spoke about AG.AL, right? Cool, calm and composed. And that's what Team Apex Gaming do here. It didn't look like they were rattled by it. They clearly positioned themselves ahead of the game. And as you can see, they said, this was a Booyah written for us.
Yep. Easy Booyah in the words of the players.
Yeah.
I don't blame them. I mean, again, they were, it's either BRU get their 4th in the group stage, either that or Pakistan gets their 1st in the hands of Demon's Pride, or TAG getting their 2nd. And we know which one is written in stone. I mean, if you are BRU, what are you worried about, right? I mean, you're doing great regardless. But with that being said, I'm sure that some of the players have something to say, and we have one prepared with Nix.
Are we in? Are we live? I believe we're live. I'm not hearing anything, but I'm going to take it. How's it going, everyone? We're back on the main stage. We do, of course, have Nix here joining us from Loud Snickers. My name's Barney Banks. I've got Carol Bombshell joining us here. We're going to ask some questions. Nix, let's kick things off. Let's talk about strategy, okay? Because yesterday, it seemed like the gameplay was very slightly different. Today, you seem like you're getting a bit more aggressive. Eliminations are coming in. Was that the plan, or is that just the way that the games have gone today?
Falando um pouco sobre estratégias, a gente viu que ontem vocês começaram muito agressivos, muitas eliminações. E esse era o plano desde o início? Vocês queriam começar nesse estilo mais agressivo?
Não, a gente foi mais um improviso, mais oportunidades que a gente via na hora. O nosso estilo de jogo é mais centralizado e acaba que os times que estão ao nosso redor, o trap de lança, pá, assim, pô, fica mais fácil também, né?
Well, that was not the plan at the beginning. Yeah, we had to improvise. We took opportunities, so we see the teams during rotation, so we just took opportunities. Yes, we used the right guns, and our coach and our team captain just gave us the call, and then we did it, the aggressive game style. Okay, Nick, so would you consider your group, the group of death that's we like to call, consider that including the reign champions, EVOS, even Team Falcons, Buriram, does having all these strongest teams in the same group make it the toughest team in the tournament so far? Tendo times, você considera o seu grupo, o grupo da morte, levando em consideração que tem os atuais campeões, o time da EVOS, tem também Team Falcons que venceu no primeiro ano, tem uma Buriram também. Você acha que tendo esses times que são fortes, faz o grupo de vocês serem um grupo da morte?
Eu acredito que sim, porque se não fosse por isso, não seria campeões mundiais, né? São times que são muito bons em endgame e acaba que no endgame esses times que são muito bons dá uma dificuldade assim. Eu acho que o nosso grupo é o da morte, mas a gente também somos bons, né? À toa que estamos aí distante do top 5, se eu não me engano.
Yeah, definitely we consider these teams the group of that. Of course, we are among the strongest teams here so far, and having like the reigning champions and also Team Falcons who won EWC 2024 definitely make this group the strongest so far, especially because we have all this kind of teams here from Thailand, Indonesia, but also we are not behind them because we reached the top 5.
You're definitely not. You're performing incredibly well so far, and obviously a few more games to go to close out the group stage for you guys. Now, I want you to cast your mind back, because playing regionally before you got here onto the global stage, you guys are playing incredibly well in Brazil. So I just want to know, did that boost your confidence coming into EWC, knowing that in the later stages of this tournament, you're likely to face off against some of your Brazilian rivals?
Bom, chegar aqui como os campeões, né, do Campeonato Brasileiro faz com que vocês consigam chegar aqui nesse momento mais fortes, vocês consigam jogar um pouco mais parelho. Você acha que essa confiança, de fato, veio junto com vocês?
Sim, com certeza. Não tem nada melhor que sermos campeões, principalmente dos campeonatos oficiais que teve no Brasil, que é o FFWS e o Clash Masters. Acaba que, sim, a gente chega muito confiante porque, querendo ou não, a gente acredita, o nosso time em si, que Free Fire é bastante confiança. Tanto é que no dia de hoje a gente teve algumas quedas muito boas justamente por causa da confiança. Vinha time, nós chegava e matava, oportunidade matava. Isso, querendo ou não, leva o astral do time dentro das partidas e acaba que sim.
Well, definitely arriving here at the EWC26 as Brazilian champions definitely give us a lot of confidence. So we arrive here knowing that playing Free Fire, we need to be confident here. So with our team, we had really good talks, really good chemistry, and we team up, and that's the results. The results don't lie. Perfect. Nix, for us to finish our interview, one more question. Your country mates performed well in Group B last night. How are you feeling about Fluxo and LYON's performance yesterday? I forgot to translate. That's okay, that happens all the time. Nix, você viu, né, as partidas dos jogos de ontem, né, do Fluxo e do time da LYON. Como é que você se sente vendo os times brasileiros também indo bem por aqui?
Cara, eu fico muito feliz, mesmo sendo rivais no Brasil, a gente ainda continua sendo brasileiro. Eu sempre trouxe pelo melhor do time da LYON, dos moleques do Fluxo também. Eu fico muito feliz. Eu não gosto, sendo bem sincero, eu não gosto desse gringo não, mas...
Take it, yeah.
That was a good answer. You're gonna like this. Okay, for sure, I'm really happy for Fluxo and LYON because we are all from Brazil. And of course, we want Brazil on the top. It doesn't matter. And especially because I don't like this I don't like the other regions. So yes, Brazil on the top for sure. Okay, thanks so much for the interview. Good luck in the next matches. It was a pleasure to talk to you. And we are back in the studio.
कल से कर देना, कोई मतलब नहीं है आज करके.
Yunsul, and right here I'm at our co-streamer place. Once again, we're meeting our famous character Backgao and of course our super fan from Team Secret, Cyrus. Xin chào tất cả mọi người. Thì hôm nay cũng là ngày thi đấu thứ hai của Free Fire EWC 26 rồi. Thì không biết là mình nói về ngày hôm qua một chút đi. WEG cũng như là Team Secret đã có cho mình một cái ngày thi đấu khá là ổn khi mà có được một Booyah và cũng như là một cái số điểm tương đối để có thể tiếp tục trong ngày thi đấu hôm nay. Thì Backgao có suy nghĩ gì về ngày thi đấu hôm qua của Team Secret ạ?
Chào tất cả mọi người. Thì nếu mà nói về ngày thi đấu của Secret WG ngày hôm qua thì bản thân mình thấy là chưa ổn vô lắm các bạn. Hôm nay sẽ là ngày thi đấu quyết định của Secret WG. Các bạn biết là một ngày thi đấu sau 2 ngày thi đấu thì chúng ta chỉ lấy 2 đội thôi, 4 đội thôi. Và hôm nay
top 6 में तो आ जाएगी. देखो अगर 2 game बचे वो अच्छा निकाल दिया तो.
vào trận chung kết.
Không biết là Cyrus thì cảm thấy như thế nào ta?
अरे वही TAG Apex nó बड़े पागल है क्या?
Hôm nay WG phải bắn hết mình để lọt top 4 và
TAG Apex है.
Thả vào top 4 ngày hôm nay chứ ngày mai thì em thấy là
Team Apex Gaming.
So as we can see from yesterday, WEG from Backgao said he doesn't feel that good, that well about Team Secret since they are doing just only a decent ranking in our
अरे वो है ना KD God.
Of course, but overall he said that in today
KD God, Luis, वो क्या नाम है, Wolverine और वो क्या बोलते हैं,
the group tomorrow would be a criminal to them.
अब उसका नाम Soto.
Difficult, very hard for them to compete, and of course for our old teammates, here's Cyrus, our old teammates of Team Secret.
Jonathan की टीम है ना, Jonathan की टीम है Apex.
Have to try their best in order to get into top 4. Today
वो मतलब godlike छोड़ दिया ना उसने, खुद की और बना ली.
And Group B. We all must get into
एक दिन में 3 लाख सब्सक्राइबर.
Of course, if you're not getting into top 4,
मतलब followers. और 2 दिन में 1 million.
11 and 12. Boom, you are out, not being available into the game anymore. So, as we can see in the chats, ở đây thì em thấy là mọi người có vẻ như là tương tác.
तो भाई स्ट्रीम भी करता तो भाई वैसे व्यूज भी आते हैं. 2-3 लाख की वाचिंग आती है इस समय उसकी.
Trong cái phần chat comment của mình khi mình coi stream thì tất cả mọi người đều
Jonathan Sriman Legend
Secret WG cả, và ủng hộ cho một đại diện duy nhất của Free Fire Việt Nam. Tất cả mọi người đều muốn rằng một kết quả thật là tốt trong cái buổi thi đấu quyết định ngày hôm nay của Secret WG.
Vâng ạ, và nghe kết quả có vẻ rất là khả quan.
Như là
tinh thần của người dân Việt Nam mình rất là đoàn kết với nhau. Thì em cũng không biết là em muốn hỏi là thường những cái buổi livestream mà nó mang tính chất quan trọng như thế này thì Backgao sẽ ngồi xem cùng với bao nhiêu người ở trên livestream của mình vậy ạ?
Thật ra là vào những cái buổi livestream quan trọng như thế này thì xưa giờ mình chỉ xem một mình thôi. Nhưng hôm nay thì có cậu em Cyrus của mình đi theo thì tất nhiên là có cậu ấy.
So normally in the chats, especially in those important occasions like this, everyone in Vietnam, because we are having only one representative from Vietnam, especially for the Free Fire World Series Vietnam. Here is Team Secret, or as known as WAG. They are trying their best to support for their favorite team. Overall, as you can see, normally Backgao will only sit and watch the live stream alone. But today, of course, he has a very special company, whom is Cyrus. And overall, I can see normal his number is very impressive because for your information, Backgao is one of the most famous Free Fire streamer in Vietnam. Normally, as I can see, he will have around like 10k or 20k viewers at the same time watching the live stream with him and support the best for Team Secret or any Vietnam representative in the game and everyone in the game as well. So it's a very pleasure for everyone to be here with me so we can enjoy this very amazing atmosphere right here at EWC26. Cảm ơn Backgao rất là nhiều. Vậy thì không biết là anh có lời nào cuối cùng muốn gửi đến cho tất cả các bạn khán giả tại Việt Nam cũng như là Team Secret của mình tại sân khấu không ạ?
Mình mong rằng tất cả các bạn đang coi livestream ở trên toàn các kênh sóng của Free Fire Việt Nam sẽ cổ vũ hết mình cho Secret WG và đồng hành cùng họ hành trình này nha.
So, here's one last thing I want to send to the viewers. For Team Secret and of course to all of the rest team at EWC26 Free Fire at this time. Thank you so much for your cooperation in this interview and we will catch you guys later.
7. Seven, the camera's on. Seven.
Wake up, Seven!
Sorry about that. I was having deja vu. I was dreaming that AG and Tag won again. They did! They actually ended up doing it again.
It actually happened! It's not your dream!
Especially Tag getting off that Booyah curse that we saw earlier from them. I mean, this squad has finally been able to step up, considering that some of those top teams have been slowing down. And I'm looking at Falcons and GunDynasty.
Well, it's really getting tough right now for GunDynasty because it seems like the 3 games, it's something, there's a lot more that they can do right now, but I think they might be able to catch up on the second half, but we'll have to find out though if they'll be able to pull it off.
Yeah, I mean, GunDynasty in Groups Day 1, they actually have a 12.8 elimination average and 4.75 for placements. And guess what they've dropped down to for these matches? 1 for elimination and 3 for placement.
Ooh.
That is quite a significant sort of jump from yesterday's performance for GunDynasty. And then who is trailing on their tails? Team Falcons. And I mean, I did sort of touch on this at the earlier stages. They needed to have a little bit more of eliminations under their belt to be able to push themselves up into that top 4. And with their track record right now, I mean, they're doing it. Although they sort of fell out in 8th place in that last match, they did have about 14 eliminations as well. So this is like the consistency and the massive advance that Falcons needed to be able to keep themselves out of that survival stage.
Yeah, I do agree. I mean, hopefully they keep up that consistency, because there was one time where Team Falcons was hunted by Aurora Gaming, and it's tough. All right, hopefully that doesn't affect Aurora Gaming.
You just have to talk about Aurora Gaming somehow.
I said I won't be saying the name once again. Anyways, Aurora Gaming was just like eliminated as he's trying to go for a revive. It's just unfortunate. They have to stay outside of the zone. Aurora Gaming can soak up full squad, and then the moment that one by one Team Falcons going for those revives, Aurora Gaming is just capitalizing and shooting them down.
But this is exactly what we expect to see from the EWC, right?
Yep.
Apex, they weren't so great yesterday, but today 17 elimination points in just 1 game. That is so amazing. AG.AL 16 elimination points. It shows that the team that weren't performing so well yesterday are finally feeling the pressure, and being under that pressure lit the fire under their bottoms. So yeah, that's exactly what we're seeing today.
Neptune gave him a nickname.
I see what you were doing. I see. I'm wondering if you maybe went and told me, okay, you really need to make sure you wake up in the second day. I'm putting my credibility on this. But another squad that has been able to maybe listen to some of the stuff that we've been talking about has been none other than AG. Another squad that has been able to maybe listen to some of the stuff that we've been talking about has been none other side of each. How they go rotation is just keeping them safe. And in the previous round, we saw them in the north. So the same strategy that they were able to pull off. And one thing is, like, even if you make that adjustment, it's not easy. But good thing that they have good snipers, good information getters, as well as those frontliners who keep those paths safe for them. So the rotation, either way, south or north, east or west, it doesn't matter for AG.AL. Well, let's take a look at that overall ranking, because we will have only 2 matches left of Group A. Buriram, congratulations, you had passed the 200-point mark. I think it's safe to say that all the sports squads might end up going to the finals unless we see an absolute just crush of emotions, and Team Falcons doing amazing.
Yeah, of course. I mean, seeing how AG.AL right now has collected 199 points, we all know that AG.AL is one of the strongest when it comes to Southeast Asia, but when it comes to the EWC, this is actually quite a surprise. I mean, Loud, EVOS, you guys better get focused, okay? Because what the hell is happening right now? I mean, even Team Falcons is trying to pick themselves up, even though it's not, maybe it's not working as much as they wanted it to be.
Yeah, and if we have a look at this, like, so we've been talking about the AG.AL and their consistency is still shining through. Buriram United as well. If we look at LYON, like LYON up to about 8 matches had 10.8 elims average with 9 placement, which is probably our top team that is focusing on those rotations. So it looks like that's not really going to the case for them going into these games. So like you said, LYON, gotta keep your wits about you because Team Falcons are sort of solidifying that path into performing with the elims and also the placement points. So this is something where LYON needs to keep on their toes for.
Now, not only for those top 4 teams going to the finals, the bottom 2 teams will end up going home. With those 2 games left, I see Demon Sprite finally being able to climb up. They're 9 points away from Titan and Paradox as well. Possibly, we could see another shift here on the leaderboard, Neptune.
We'll have to fight. Let's see, though, because even against AG.AL, they're struggling. Earlier, I thought that Titan Esports Club will be able to bring a fight against AG.AL, but with Katush, the only one remaining in this point, on 1 point in that game, it was hard. It was difficult. Even with the Moors, he couldn't use that stealth bite to get away. He couldn't be stealthy enough to pull away from that engagement.
Yeah, I was just concerned about DP or demons because all I'm seeing is that terrible calls after terrible calls. And it's like, it's not even about the bad strategy, it's positioning as well. So I'm really racking my brain to like, how can we help them? How can we make them feel more comfortable and at least try to do something more? Because it's just sad to see at this point, honestly.
Some of those teams that were supposed to be listening to us aren't listening to us, and the ones that are currently secure in the finals, for some reason, they're listening to us. I talked about this team earlier, actually, and it's none other than Loud. We were talking about positionings with what AG has been able to do. Loud, I feel like this top teams might be using this last couple of games to try something different because we didn't see Loud in the middle of the circle this summer.
Yeah, I mean, they took the position of AG.AL on the south side, outside of the circle, so it's a good strategy as well, like halfway through. If you will be read out by the other teams, you will be anticipated by the other teams as well. So you will have to switch it up. You have to change your approach. Otherwise, you'll be targeted so much. And you did mention how critical it is for the top 4, or for them to get in the top 4 and secure it.
Yeah, you can't sit in that top 4 and be like, oh, you know, my job is done here, because there are people tailing on you that also want that position as well. I mean, no one wants to go to the survival stage. They don't want to have to fight again. So this is where these next couple of games are going to be incredibly crucial for these teams. And, you know, we have been touching on, I think Buriram United, you're kind of safe. Like, that is an exceptional lead for them. But, I mean, mid-range of this leaderboard need to be able to be a little bit more cohesive and get those placement points on top of getting eliminations. Because, yeah, cool, you can make it into that final circle, but everybody else wants that same kind of action too. So we need to see obviously exceptional eliminations right at the start and a little bit more strategy to push themselves into that final zone and be able to secure a spot there.
Yeah, I mean, there's still 3 places up for grabs, right? So it's everyone's game. I think it is time for us to see what's going to happen next.
Oh, I'm going to save us the curse, and I'm going to send it to the casters instead.
Okay.
Yesterday, we were able to bless some teams, wondering if they were going to be able to get 3 Booyahs. We have 2 squads now with 2 Booyahs apiece. So Husky, Lucifer, are they going to maybe get that 3rd Booyah or no?
I am pretty sure at this point of time that anything is possible, and I'm looking forward to see if AG.AL can get that 3rd, or maybe TAG. But I gotta say, spicy words from Nix, from Lau, and Conchita's takes have been getting hotter and hotter. Yeah, I'm throwing my book out the window.
Yeah,
I'm here for the vibes, man.
Exactly. At this point, none of the things that happened yesterday in terms of points, in terms of how storylines were built, are all broken down as we see the flight path. This time at least a tad bit better compared to the previous game that we ended at Purgatory. But yes, a great end for Team Apex Gaming in India. And now another opportunity for AG.AL to get their 3rd here, and again, like how Buriram did, maybe even AG.AL do a 3 for themselves.
I mean, BRU hit the 200-point threshold as expected.
EAG versus
wow, plenty
EAG versus Predicts.
eliminations on that feed as well, as teams started off hot. Well, this is Shoto really coming alive. Paradox, unfortunately, almost snuffed up of theirs. Madara, get a confirmation. That's the 2nd one for Demon's Pride. Should be able to get the pick up there. Jazzy though, under fire. Pressure mounts.
GunDynasty भाई eliminate हो गई.
Nearby.
PRU लपेटने लगी भाई.
Yeah, this is not the best of the battle, but look at Shoto. He has looked like a beast, completely going all in, the rusher. And now again, another opportunity that he wants to strike at. And there it is. Before going striking, he goes in for a revive. Abax quickly challenged by Demon Sprite. And Shoto going in for another revive. A couple of losses that they had. And Shoto gets all their players, one after another, back on their feet. Going and getting in. One last player left from Team Apex Gaming. And Shoto right now doing the magic to get the Apex back.
And after an extended breather, suddenly this match 11 of Group A turned into the Wild West. They are still going. Top 16 needs assistance. Abax getting gunned down, but Russia that covers the flank. Madara ends up losing out. Demon's Pride needs to find a way out of this. They are slowly running out of gas, but EVOS with a choco right around the corner. It's Jazzy confirmed. Demon's Pride vanquish.
Match number 11. This is Demon's Pride going out at this point makes their chances and their keys all.
BRU भाई BRU के यहाँ पे कुछ कर पाएगी वोल्विन को फिर से मार दिया केडी गॉड ने फिर से साथ को रिवाइव कर दिया भाई लाउड कितने किल एक किल अच्छा इसको ही पकड़ा बस
And Sahil Jad in a complete different direction. Tag spread around the map itself because this start was not great for them. They're unable to replicate what they just did in the previous game. And I don't know how, right? One game they got a Booyah, did not make the best in the second, and then coming back to the next, again another Booyah. A little back and forth happening here from Team Apex Gaming.
Yeah, we actually have a terminology for that. It's called the RQ
AG.AL versus हो सकता है loud. Loud चली गई क्या?
Fans, you know it's true. You know it's true, Conchita. I love you a lot. But I gotta say, after match number 10, we already see the clear hierarchy, right? Top 4 confirmed. Even if Falcons go on a miracle run to do it in 2 matches, highly unlikely. So now it's the fight to not be in the bottom 2. But even then, with Demon's Pride out, they only have one more chance in match 12 to do so. Paradox hanging on by the skin of their teeth. They gotta find a revival to get back into the game.
But getting the game going is going to be due. Elimination, damage all being done. Aim God now taken down by Titan Esports Club. That was one of the players, but there's still a challenge coming in. Ray, he gets taken down. Titan Esports Club, they get challenged by Aurora. And look at the Axel's position. Completely unthought of, and Aurora taking this as an advantage. And Titan Esports Club, all they want is making sure they secure their survival state chances. And a challenge coming in from Azriel is good to deliver one, but then the entire trail of Aurora follows through. And Titan Esports Club, they lose their players one after another. And it's only up to Kutush, and Kutush has always been the savior for this team.
Forced to slow the pace down.
Very
close to his team, but the Dynamo clear from top player confirms the absence of anyone there, so he can't get the revive going. Nameless and Cypher linked up. Shoto great snipe on the trap. Kutush with the full revival there. TAG racking up steady points. Next so far actually fights due with a P90 of all things, so the sniper of AG.AL will need to be brought back, and that's will be the case. Loud makes that rotation. BZB wants to push the envelope.
Loud. They are in the top 4, and as you said, they're just making sure they seal the deal with match 11 and match 12 on board. AG.AL trying to get closer to their Booyah so that they can cascade in the champion rush. But right as now, Aurora, they're biting their chances, trying to get better, and they're picking on DRS one after another right at the winning
16 kill निकाल दी भाई उसने.
Not even giving them a chance to breathe over there or even counteract.
Wait a minute.
And look at that, instantly they go for a hit list and goes to Loud Gosha.
Aurora has 16 eliminations.
16 kill मार दी भाई इन्होंने.
Yeah.
How much has happened?
That happened.
Wow.
Where did that happen? We'll see in the replays.
Yeah, we looked away. We looked away for just a little bit.
Yeah.
You see that, Neptune? Thanks for not mentioning Aurora.
And Aurora, big picks. They did trouble. Titan Esports Club. Those are some of the eliminations that they managed to get. And right as now, being troubled is going to be Paradox. Falcons, in the meantime, they are trying to go in for a challenge. FGL being used to force on fire, not getting closer. Fire battling with fire, using a chrono, but not for long. And Zuez puts him down, and another back coming in. Aurora, 18 eliminations. It looks like Aurora are taking this chance as the top teams have decided to silence themselves, at least here on Nextera. Aurora are going all out. Another challenge and limit X7's positions compromised. Ripped out of them, his defense not great. Azriel tried to jump closer. Unfortunately, the landing was not that great, but what can Limit do? He's stuck in a very hard spot, surrounded by the entirety of Aurora.
Yeah, missing, unfortunately, airballing the Riptide Rhythm is going to put
भाई अरोरा को कोई मारो यार,
I think Aurora
ऐसे तो ये पूरा गेम खराब कर देगी पता है। अरोरा अगर मर जाएगी तो सही रहेगा भाई।
now seems to looking to build themselves into an unstoppable fourth circle, move south. But if Aurora can clear out Limit from the area, they get such a stronghold in that area around Zipway. I think the best part of Aurora right now, again, chances of making it in the top 4, pretty much unlikely, but they could cement the position.
कुटुश को मारो बे, मारो डी एजी वालों।
So far today, the most
पैराडॉक्स तो भाई क्या बताओ भाई, इस टीम में तो किस्मत खराब है भाई, मरी जा रही है सारी, क्या करे कितना भी खेल ले।
They're already looking to break a record.
This is around the 7-minute
एक गोली के मारो
right at the
खत्म।
end of the game. So Aurora in a brilliant run. For the time being, even EVOS trying to stretch that towards 10 of their own elimination.
कुटुश चलो।
They find Kutush over there. Seems like the elimination feed slowly right now lighting up one after another. AG.AL picking off the last player of Paradox, and that is Sneaky out. And Paradox, just like Demon's Pride, their chances are looking bleak.
Really falling out of their hands. Some hit scratches there from Paradox. The only thing that they could hope for right now is for TEC to be next. Then they will have a chance to bring it back. Maybe for Demon's Pride it's going to be an easier journey, but for Paradox it's a 20-point gap.
उसका glitch हो गया भाई।
And a lot of hope that TEC don't make it this round and the next.
It's going to be a difficult one to kind of
Falcon और अरोरा मर जाना मजा
forward
आएगा।
teams fall and their own uprising, and especially with only one game to go.
19 kill कर दी भाई अरोरा रे तेरी।
They have a challenge.
भाई साहब क्या मार रही भाई अरोरा।
But BCP, he was quickly surprised by DRS, but the challenge not yet done. Gosha was there out.
आ गई अरोरा फिर से।
20 eliminations on the clock. Not yet 10 minutes, and Azriel going in for a chase. Pratik, he will be taken down by Azriel. Stroix, can he do something different? Right behind the drop, and Aurora not yet seen, but finally it's going to be the Axel. And DRS out of the run. However, Aurora roaring in this game.
भाई क्या कर रहे हैं?
From Axel's face, he knows that the magic is being performed here. They might even set a record for the highest elimination count in a round if this continues. If they add a Booyah on top of that, it might be the record for the most points in a single round.
Yep.
To be achieved and set by Aurora, missing 4 years from the international stage. I don't care if they win the trophy in the end. There is going to be them inscribed in the history books by the end of this one.
Yeah, to do it at the Esports World Cup, to break records is not at all easy. Titan Esports Club, their journey started today in recovery, and somehow they are above the chopping block for the time being, and especially maybe a blessing in disguise that both Demon's Pride and Paradox are out, so get that difference even bigger. That's what they have to act here at Deca Square. Right close to them, they have Team Apex Gaming to be worried about.
Best part is that with DRS being wiped out by Aurora, Titan Esports Club have a better chance now to ascend in the rankings. And not to mention, booting Paradox down to the last spot. Race of hope for TEC. EVOS has been a bit quieter this round. I think they were sitting at around 10 eliminations there. About to move forward, potentially bump into Falcons. BRU making the rotation over the boxing gym. Launch pad will be used. This is going to be quite the rotation. Straight in. Stealth bites by Rasha. Going ahead. And guess who lays ahead? It's Aurora.
He might have the stealth bites and might be in call for the time being, but right in front of Aurora. The only two teams right as now here in Nextera having double digits. Aurora and EVOS both next to each other, and it seems like EVOS do not want any fight of this.
अरोरा पिटेगी यहाँ पे, गई अरोरा।
He finds an opening on Jun. Do they continue this action? It seems like they're not yet, but that was a warning shot coming in from EVOS.
Yep, indeed, Rasha. Always the consistent figure in the team, even in the darkest day of EVOS. Rasha is the beacon of hope that you can lean your shoulder upon. Even yesterday we look back, and EVOS' track record, right?
Yeah.
Russia is the one that enables everything. He's the one that lights the fuse and gives EVOS that second wind. Survivor and Dominator all packaged into one. It's going to be quite the standstill between them and Aurora. Maybe BRU will break the ice as they now make the presence into the circle.
Every team getting closer, inching against everybody. 4 points for eliminations to be above and surviving, afloat. And I think right as in at least in next era, every team is safe and sound, whether it be the top 4, the middle order, because the chopping block teams are already out. They are under threat of elimination.
It almost seems like they've already been placed at the guillotine here.
Yeah.
At the EWC's terms, the Crusher.
This is silence just before a complete cascade of an action breaks out.
Yep.
Zones closing in. Falcons, a very big spread right at Deca Square. But with the binoculars being used, it gives an idea of a totality of the number of teams there. Either it came from Tag or it could be Titan. So it showed that there are 2 different teams holding in the major compound at the center of Deca Square.
Yeah. LYON now makes their move. Hits the timing just right. With the circle centered around Aurora. Nejat takes out BZP rotation. LYON has no way to retrieve him. Russia from the back one. Backside takes out Trap as well. Blue walls have to be used, but even for Guaksha, didn't really have much window to keep his team up. EVOS now being the difference maker. And that gives Aurora even more time to set up. TEC will have to move. But then this Falcons lying in wait on fire shows it head.
Oh.
And it's a bait and
Yeah,
switch from Limit following up.
Blade just popped up and instantly, as you said, the setup coming in from Limit and now Titan Esports Club. They wanted to create a difference in the number of points they have. And Falcons have them surrounded. But on the other end, it is Team Apex Gaming. They decide to jump in, put Limit itself down, but Kiroro acts quickly. Volvin and Katie got her down. Sahilja trying to recover this. Shoto has to do something brilliant right as now. Falcons have him surrounded, cornered, zones closing, and Shoto is in deep troubles. However, there's a close vending machine, and Sahilja with Shoto will be able to get one of their players back up.
And this could be an opportunity for TEC to take advantage of. Get a couple of knocks down, whittle down the members of Falcons and give themselves a chance to move on forward. Have to contend with Pina though with Kutless down. And they will have to get that revive going again. Every single second spent not rotating is going to be detrimental. BRU up with the monster truck. There is going to be pressure. Aurora, they gotta receive this hit. Can they overcome BRU? As they crash through, hops on top of the roof. Falcons wipes out the members of AG.AL.
AG.AL going out. Aurora have a chance to make the biggest record here at EWC26 in Free Fire. 22 eliminations. They died down after that 8-minute mark we were talking about.
Team Apex Gaming गई यार.
Team Apex Gaming here in next era. They lose their chance out. However, still chances for Titan Esports Club to rake up points, but they're under the axe of the Axel. And Zue is also helping out, and that is going to be an end for Titan Esports Club. 24 in total eliminations coming in from Aurora. Buriram know this is happening, but that's happening right below them. Is there a change?
BRU might be the only person that can, the only team that can stop this carnage from the Malaysians. Of course, with Azrael leading the charge as well. Axel onto Limit this time. Out into the open. Aurora not overheating this time. Get high. Removed from the equation. The clutch factor of BRU no longer in the conversation. And Aurora, new surge of confidence, newfound hope, now takes on BRU, and they are on top of the roof.
A fight between LYON as well as EVOS. But EVOS, they have the numbers. LYON don't have it. Riptide Rhythm coming in, trying to fend it off, but it goes towards Aurora. The Axel's down, but they are quickly recovering. That's the best part. As you said, they are not overheating. Jun, he stepped out, quickly spotted multiple players and backed out. On the other end, Limit taking an advantage on Buriram out in the open. Buriram thought they're going to be ahead of the circle. The zone shifting, they wanted to take an advantage of it. It did not work in their favor. Aurora on the other end, back into the compound, pummeling bullets towards Falcons as they did trouble Buriram.
You want to talk about David versus Goliath? Aurora is the underdog right now. 25 and counting. Make it 26. Azrael with his 7th side by side with Jun. They make it to the high ground, and now EVOS is going to be the next on that hit list. They eliminate BRU with the help of Falcons, down to just 4. Aurora and EVOS have the best odds with the full squad left alive, as LYON also ends their journey in this match. Aurora all alone. It's going to be the neighbor derby here. Aurora, ever so confident.
And the final fight breaking out at Boxing Gym. And the gloves are going to be let loose. EVOS, the defending champions. Aurora, the first time in the making. Breaking a record if possible. EVOS have to set themselves up. Like how we've seen Aurora, they have their elimination spread across all the 4 players, 6, 7, all of that has been seen, but we saw EVOS themselves at the early, looking cool, calm-headed, with fun in their name, with 6, 7 already being done by Russia. But can they actually pull off something like that against Aurora, who are looking like the Goliaths in this game?
Start to eliminate the external factors. As EVOS, they take the challenge head on. You know they never shy away. Glue was put up by Aurora to prevent any sort of an off angle, as EVOS barricades themselves in its compound, but the circle is going to force certain movements. Suez still preoccupied by Kororo. He needs to be removed.
This is the plan. Aurora do not want to give the chance for EVOS to step out until Kororo is removed, because they do not want somebody trying to pepper them out without intent. And now with him going out, Falcons out, it is going to be a fair 4v4 battle. But the best possibility for Aurora is they have cornered them. They've closed out every opening on EVOS.
There's a chance for a 43-point round right now for Aurora. A record never seen from a Malaysian team. Last we saw was 42 points last year by Falcons. Aurora have a chance to make it 43. And how cool is that on EWC a year apart? The circle, it's going to be the game maker. AG.AL on the roof, but we eventually have to descend.
Neither of these teams have the best of the circle. They're at the edge of it. They're at the center of it. It will come down to a battle, but look at Aurora using all their glue walls, making sure EVOS does not head out. They're hoping that this zone shrinks in their favor.
Oh my goodness.
They're waiting for an opportunity. EVOS also not trying to rush out. Might come down to just their HP.
Is it really going to be a heating battle? Ezreal not able to sneak in. It's going to be so close. AG.AL is going to be their lifeline. Russia finding a knock. Here it comes. EVOS on the hunt. Ezreal with the knockdown here. But the lifeline is on top of the roof. Is Aurora. All hopes on the AG.AL. Can he outlast the odds? Aim God knocked down by the blue zone. AG.AL continuing to patch himself up. It's him and Apex. Who is going to outlast the system? AG.AL falls at the very end. And EVOS is the one that comes out on top.
The Tigers.
Let's go guys. EVOS ने Booyah मारते थे. Hello Samarth, welcome to our stream.
Aurora, they should have kept their aggression going on and they could have got a record. But what a Booyah coming in from EVOS, holding it off. We saw the fight could have broken out very early on. Russia instantly shut down Aurora, saying do not take that fight against us. And in Boxing Gym, we did look forward to the bell, but it was in favor for EVOS.
And regardless of that, Aurora have something to be proud of. Still a record being set. Almost close to 40 points. A scoreline that any team would dream of.
Yeah.
अबे जल्दी जल्दी last match कराओ भाई.
Highly unlikely the top 4 standings will change, but this has at least kept Aurora in the game. And even for EVOS, they know what the plan of Aurora was. They were prepped to play that healing game. What an impressive round, honestly, from the Malaysian team. I think it is something that, you know, we saw back in the SCA, back in spring. The good games of Aurora are the games that they are willing to make these moves and take on the fight, and god damn, they did it well.
Yeah, I wish for this fight to break out in their favor. They should have gone for it a little ahead.
I agree.
But yeah, there was even electrotherapy being used by EVOS. That also helped out ABAX over there. And that's what we talk about, these minute things, you having the skills ready for those final battles. It helped out EVOS over there. Aurora otherwise maybe could
मेरा
have
फोन
had
टूट
their
गया
own
था इसलिए नहीं खेल पा रहा उसे ओके ओके सर कोई बात
I was
नहीं
ready
यार
for a bloodbath, honestly. I was so ready for Aurora to just run in, duke it out, throw haymakers, and see what happens. They chose the safe way, but again, no harm, no foul there, you know?
We've been seeing these teams who have had their Booyahs and their comms right at the very end. It has not been hectic at all. And in this bet we saw comms, they're like, hey, we understand what Aurora are trying to do. Let's do the same thing. It worked out for EVOS.
Yeah, I mean, you didn't even see EVOS trying to force their way out from the boxing gym. Right? They're like, I guess we chill. I guess we chill and then we try to...
We 6-7.
We 6-7, right? And it's, so we got 6-7. Game 6 is coming up. But of course, before we get to that, we got to see what's going on in the rest of EWC.
Hi, me. There's a machine. I don't really understand how to play or how to use it, so I'm gonna ask this man right here. Hello. So can you explain how can we use or play this? Because I really want to give a try.
Yes. So it's easy. I will push the start button and you will have 5 seconds to prepare and it will start falling down. You will have to catch them all. So there are 10 in totals. And once you catch one, you can drop it on the floor.
Wow, this game is gonna be very hard. It's about flexible testing. Okay, let's see if I can do it or not. I got 2. I think it's a good game to testing your flexible, and of course my hat is falling off, but this one is pretty fun for exercise. Let's move to the next one. From that last map, I mean ending it with a healing game and a record almost broken. Can you believe this, AJ?
I can definitely believe it. What I cannot believe is the fact that it was a Malaysian squad that almost broke the record of Falcons themselves, right? Massive game for Aurora, but that's exactly what you want to show the Malaysian fans out there, that you're not just here to fill a slot, that you're here to go all the way to the grand finals, and because of Champion Rush, maybe even run away with it.
Yeah, it's anyone's game because today has been crazy.
Yeah.
We started off the day with Booyahs from TAG, and they had 2 of them despite struggling yesterday. And AG.AL still rampaging and finally clinching in that Booyahs as well. Yesterday, and AG.AL still from TAG, and they had 2 of them.
For Team Apex Gaming to rise up to the occasion, they clearly knew it. Yesterday was a warm-up day for them, right? I wasn't too concerned about them at all because we've seen the way India plays, and it is all about the patience. It's all about reading and understanding the rotations of the other teams and then going in for the strike when you truly need to do so. And today is the day. Perhaps they might not get the early access into the grand finals, but what they will most definitely do is not get relegated today. Down at the bottom, Paradox as well as Demon Sprite, they are the ones who are in a little trouble.
Yeah, it's looking really scary for them as well, especially as you know it is elimination day after all. You do not want to get dropped today. You either want to be at the very top all the way to finals, or you want to at least survive for survival stage.
Absolutely, and obviously you want to get in there a tad bit earlier, but there is no harm whatsoever in playing that survival stage, right? You've got an extra 10 games to go through that also gives you a little bit of extra warm-up before you play the grand finals. But obviously the Super Titans want to get in there early, and Southeast Asia, as expected, finding dominance there. Now the surprising thing is Loud, even without a dominant run today, are still in the top 4.
Yeah, they still are. They're still farming. They're still going crazy right now, and I am very excited to see what will be happening. So, after this,
After this, we've got the final game. It's the final showdown. It is the final opportunity for the two teams down at the bottom. The ones they are chasing, though, is from Bangladesh, TEC. Now, they've done good enough so far to stay clear of that bottom spots, those two bottom spots, but they're a little bit too close to being uncomfortable in the competition. This is that round. I'm expecting them to make a breakout run.
Yeah, it's really scary to think about it. But again, anything can happen. We've seen records almost broken as well. And I think that after this, before we go, I mean, again, it's the final game before we go into the second series of the day, right? So in your opinion, what do you want to see on the final map?
I want to see the underdogs rise up to the occasion, even though Demon's Pride, as well as, you know, the ones who are closest to them are not going to find a way to maybe get the Booyah at the end of the day. They still need to try. They still need to throw out a lot of points as much as possible. So if possible, get to that final circle before finding your eliminations.
I also agree. I want to see the battle of the underdogs, but who else better to tell us what will be happening in the last map? Other casters, we have Lucifer and also Husky.
You are damn right, Tash and AJ. Last match of Group A. And we are about to see some dreams get crushed in this brutal reality of an international competition. Paradox Gaming down at the bottom, followed by Demon's Pride in 11th place. But there is still hope. Even a slight glimmer is what might make the difference for these two teams. We saw TEC, they ran away with the previous map thanks to a bit of intervention. Paradox Gaming have a mountain to climb to even make it to 10th spot. But for Demon's Pride, for the pride of Pakistan, that journey might be slightly extended if they just get a good round.
It needs to be the greatest of rounds for both Paradox and Demon's Pride, as this is the last game for Group A, match number 12. And it starts now with Paradox already taking a dive towards Moat House, but they have trouble. That's going to be DRS, not the great journey as they dive out very first. Sneaky, however, has taken a dive in the other direction, but very close is even Demon's Pride. Both the ones almost at the bottom, out of the race, are very close. This is unfortunate.
Yep, very poetic as well that the last map is Purgatory. And can they survive Purgatory? Pratik making hope look a bit glim at L2K. Doing the same, the Enrique needs to be picked back up, but L2K needs to be able to hold the fort so far. Paradox down in numbers, DRS with 2 already.
This is not looking great. Windy, he wants to do something, has a Vector on hand, but can he do something brilliant? Skill ready, but he doesn't even get to use a single bullet. And he gets taken down by Pratik, the P90 putting him down, but Sneaky. Thankfully, there was a revive, so he can go for this battle, but for how long can he do this? Paradox need to recover. They need to understand the stakes right now. That if they get eliminated so early, the result
क्या लगता है? मुझे लग रहा है ये हो जाएगा. ठकुरी कहाँ है?
Feeding points into the DRS machine.
ठकुरी उतर रहा है क्या?
And that means
आसमान से लगता नीचे आ रहा है.
situation, it won't change much, but with Demon's Pride arriving, you gotta make something out of it. as8UL finding L2K, that makes it even worse for Paradox. Windy will bring him back. Finally, Sneaky getting the job done, getting the first for Paradox. A step in the right direction. Strowax will want to find revenge, but Sneaky is doing his absolute best to stay alive. But Strowax pulls out the sight and ends Sneaky's streak. Madara now. It's gonna queue up and see if he can make something happen.
Demon's Pride, they also need points. If it was Paradox and they were battling against them, that would have been extra points. But DRS, they're safe and sound. So battling with DRS could be trouble. And they've looked better so far in the entire journey of the 12 games that we've seen. Hope Demon's Pride are prepared for it. One thing for sure in the intention of moving towards Moat House is the fight is isolated. Whatever happens, you may be able to recover it. But can it work out? It doesn't. Both top 16 and Madara, they get taken out.
And that does not look good at all. At least for Demon's Pride and Paradox, they're still in it. Still a chance. TAG, on the other hand, not doing that well. Madara gets brought back. GunDynasty, watching that top 4 slip away. Now, we'll have to see if they can at least end on a high note. Do it like what Aurora did in the previous round. Almost 40 bomb. Gyro getting spotted out by Jun. That's half his health bar gone.
Aurora, just before this, they had only Jun surviving, but thankfully got the whole team back up. So his life at this point losing it out is okay. But on the other hand, as you did mention,
पे ऑटो रिवाइवर है अभी में ऑटो रिवाइवर अभी चल रहा है गाइस इसमें ऑटो रिवाइवर है
should replicate.
गाइस जो बंदा स्ट्रीम पे आ रहा है स्ट्रीम को लाइक शेयर और सब्सक्राइब कर देना यार
For them, the great run that they had on day one cannot do or say much here on day two because the Southeast Asia and Brazil, they went all out. And again, going in for a
EVOS versus
and
AG.AL.
Not yet found an opening.
AG Global.
Exchange on either end. Dew now gets closer.
EVOS.
Sniper, can he find the opening? Yes, he does. It's going to be Ray getting taken down. Confirmation not yet there. Aim God running right across. Ray's confirmation will follow to Dew. And now Cypher following with A-backs going down. AG.AL looking better, but finally taking a hit on Dew. Now it gives a chance for EVOS to get back into the game.
Aim God's gonna get surrounded as he revisits that area. The double back for AG.AL paid off big time as they picked off.
अच्छा भाई चार्ज बस्टर मस्त चल रही है यार और कोई चार्ज बस्टर चला रहा है
None is lost on the side of AG.AL as the feed continues to light up with some of the bottom teams. Stroax finding his fourth on the sneaky. Jazzy picked up by Get High. Things continue to develop in a negative way for Demon's Pride and Paradox. TAG needs to find a way to get woven back into action as Azrael also destroyed by Pina.
Falcons at Central, a UAV to scan. They do not find anything. On the other end, Aurora, we spoke about this. After almost a record-breaking performance, this last game of Purgatory is now working in their favor. Last time it was Jun, this time it's the Axel. On the other end, DRS is still hitting on Paradox, getting extra eliminations from them. Quick on the revive, thankfully had enough coins to get the whole squad back up. What is this again? Demon's Pride and Paradox one against each other. And Windy quick on the revive. Madara had the same intention as well. But at the end of it, it's going to be Madara who gets that elimination. And that's going to be a second. But DRS is still close by. If Demon's Pride as well as Paradox keep going at it like this, their chances of making it up will not work out because TEC, they've already picked up 5 eliminations of this game.
With top 16 going down. Again, a reset, a hard reset onto Demon's Pride. Madara would just have to make that rotation. Blade
Wasana versus Blade. Nice.
Takes out Wasana in the meantime. Players of Paradox on your screens. Again, it's going to be tough, Sneaky. Losing out again. And like you said, Lucifer, this cycle of...
Wasana को बचा लिया भाई उन्होंने.
If it's not into the pockets of Paradox and Demon's Pride,
yeah,
there's no chance.
Not sure what the thought was. Maybe they both wanted to go for a drop clash and DRS ended up becoming the surprise. And DRS are getting those extra points at the time being.
Mosi निपटेगा. अरे देना नहीं दे पाया.
They're already, we saw just before this, at 80 points. So a chase towards them is going to be very difficult for both Demon's Pride and Paradox. And especially they're losing players one after another. Finally, somebody has taken the most eliminations away from Trap and it's going to be
revive
Cypher, and that's what I'm pretty sure every fan of AG.AL will be happy to see.
Yeah. Russia still in first place.
Yeah.
At least tied out with Cypher. The previous Clash Squad tournament, he actually is the most damaged, the highest damage dealer. And no one could get close to him.
Yeah.
Even though they didn't win the whole thing. And that's the craziest part. Wasana actually getting removed. But now, coming to life, GunDynasty, that's exactly what they need.
GunDynasty क्या मार रहे भाई?
Maybe the last game, but still, give it your all. A warning to the teams who will make it to the survival stage. That's what GunDynasty need to look forward to. Paradox, in the meantime, do get another revive again to their teammates. But driving away their chances are Titan Esports Club from Bangladesh, something that we were looking forward to. When we speak about South Asia, yes, India now looking great, especially after TAG getting 2 Booyahs. I'm pretty sure teams from Bangladesh would want to do it because they're Straw Hats in our Group B as well.
Yep.
They've not looked great. At least Titan Esports Club have taken it up a notch.
Yeah. And it could be a source of motivation for MÍA Corp too.
Yeah.
And no, it's the first time for South Asia, but they have had a slight taste before this.
TAG ने लिया Aurora को.
Absolute first time.
Even Pakistan eliminated.
Might have just ended here at the foothill of EWC26. All eyes now on TEC and Paradox. 27 points to tie. The highest of mountains for Paradox to climb, but they're still in it.
These are the numbers that we kind of talk about when teams need to get to champion rush. How far are they? How can they deny teams? But right as now, it's about staying alive. And that's going to be an even tougher task to dabble and work around. And I think Paradox, they have a long statement to do if they have to put up a performance like this. Because we've not seen so far, 11 games they've played, we've not seen them pull off a double-digit game.
Yeah, it would be a lot more reassuring if TC didn't also have 8 eliminations under the belt.
Yeah.
The break even. And that is going to only make things harder as more teams get removed. Strox taken out by BZP. It's a good time to
जल्दी खत्म हो यार मैच 8
well,
मिनट हो
this
गया
last round. A lot of what's happening is inconsequential if it doesn't directly affect Paradox.
लाउड भी आ गई पीछे से
Paradox, every time they take a step, they are either surrounded by DRS or being challenged by somebody else.
Yep.
This time at least, they've fended off DRS. It's only going to be Pratik and they instantly surround him.
Nice.
Quick on the take is going to be Sneaky. Happy on that elimination is also going to be Paradox. But they're not.
लाउड क्या कर रही है लाउड मार क्यों नहीं रही भाई इनको
Loud is getting closer at that ski lodge's end. Forge is above. Can they forge their very own key that stays alive? At this point, it looks tougher than ever.
And remember, with that elimination, they tie up with TEC again.
Yeah.
27 points. The count starts here. Enough bodies to go through,
but
with the right placement points.
Not the best challenge right they have. DRS, they somehow were able to fend off. You can see Takuri did get the whole squad back, but look at Loud. This is how they challenge, going directly in. And Trap puts the player from Paradox down. Now Windy, he spots them from afar, thankfully. None of the players from Paradox were close by, and Loud did
देखो क्या होता है लाउड
but now Nyx is spotted
लाउड
them.
तो पुश करने की कोशिश करेगी वैसे
They're allowed to go for the next fight.
Yeah, forget about a hit and
जाएगी
run.
जाएगी लाउड जाएगी
Again, Paradox sent on the run again.
जोर पे ज्यादा
Paradox actually.
लाउड है कितने 4 बंदे हैं ना बुया निकालने की कोशिश करेंगे पक्का
But for Loud,
जा रहे सब भाई फाइट
they've
लेने
already cemented their 4th spot. Really doesn't matter how this round turns out. Falcons, impossible to make it to grand finals. Will have to play for survival. GunDynasty continues to make a statement on the feed as well, taking out Pratik. Spinel is the one that breathes life into the team. BRU as well, finding a recovery. It's GunDynasty under the lightning zone.
GunDynasty मर गया तो मजा आ जाए भाई.
And deal best Spinel.
Two shots looking for the second on David, but Cypher was close by. As David goes down, even Vega gets taken.
आखिरी बंदा बचा भाग रहा रिवाइव कर दिया
Looking forward to their run at that champion rush, and now Loud has a challenge right in front of them. Can they take them down? Damage already being done. Their Scour Fiber is not going to work out. Trap gets taken down. That's due for you. You looking forward to another challenge with Nick. Trap getting confirmed. Cypher puts BZP down. Now Nick gets closer to you in that CQC. It's going to be Nick delivering for Loud.
He did say that only Brazil will prevail, but unfortunately AG.AL will remind him the
DRS
true
फिर
kings
से
so far are still the ties, and Loud will have to take a bow now. Guaksha brings Trap back in. Another reset for Aurora, blowing all of that steam in the previous game, and now sitting at no eliminations and a rough round ahead of them. With only one remaining survivor. Paradox back in action. BRU right in front of them. If Paradox can get through this hurdle, gotta start with TAG.
Which is the best fight for Paradox to pick? At this point, none. But they have to. If they want their chances at Esports World Cup 26, go to the survival stage right here in Paris. And Tag right now closed off. Instant dash coming through. Windy has to find the opening. It's going to be Shoto to turn it around. Denying Paradox.
Let's go, let's go, let's go, let's go, let's go.
That confirmation will not work through. Oh, they do actually. And Shoto trades it off with one of his own.
Could have got a lot of words for Paradox. But bailed out by Windy with his life, with his dying breath. Enrique now with the challenge, absolutely decimated. Paradox down to 2, on their last legs, in front of TAG. L2K now removed.
Oh, BRU भी आ गई.
That Paradox will breathe their last here. BRU now show up, and Sneaky out in the open. And that is all she wrote. Paradox Gaming breathes their last in Paris.
They held that fight for far too long, holding it out here. And
nice, nice, yaar.
Even loud. So
Buriram, nice.
They are also at a disadvantage. They also need to decide to pick it up. And looking at the best spot is going to be Team Apex Gaming. In the meantime, as Paradox has gone out, the troubles for Titan Esports Club have vanished. They did lose a player, but I'm pretty sure the threat of somebody else raking up a lot of points is not something that they will be worried about. Najat is the last one. A nice hit coming in from
Aurora
Ray,
Gaming,
denying Aurora and eliminating them. EVOS, they use their binoculars, they spot 7 players. And that's going to be loud, that's going to be Buriram along with close by Team Apex Gaming.
GunDynasty मर जाना मजा आ जाए भाई.
Perfectly. He's behind all the enemies who've already made it inside the circle. And I think Titan Esports Club are making sure no second chances left to anybody, that they still have points and they qualify, make it to the survival stage at least.
Yep, they've done just enough for another 10 rounds tomorrow. So from this point onwards, there's no more consequences to whatever happens. But it'd be nice to get the Booyah to add on to that record. And GD, they're doing the Aurora run, man, Lucifer.
Yeah.
18 eliminations.
They've gone big. GunDynasty now in a cluster though. Loud has spotted Najat. So for his survival, it looks not that great. He should be picked off very soon. Team Apex Gaming, they've been holding in that tent for far too long. Their position was already compromised when Buriram made the entry. But Buriram, now they have an attention to pay to somebody else. That's going to be GunDynasty. But GunDynasty, before giving them any heat, they want to take a fight against Team Apex Gaming. But Team Apex Gaming, they've closed all the fronts. Just like how
हाँ हिसाब चारों तरफ से टीमें घेरी पड़ी हैं. क्या यहाँ पे क्या बच पाएगी? कर लेगी.
And BRU is listening in closely, in separate tent as well. Russia will have to spend some time, heal back up, the medic gun speeds up the process. Loud taking care of Najat, the Titan Esports Club are writing their last. But again, just enough to make it to tomorrow. But Loud now have distance, great angles to intervene in this 4-way fight happening right in front of them.
Last 5 teams, out of which only one team has all their 4 players surviving. That's going to be EVOS. Sahil Jad, Shairu did blow open in a place to enter the doorway, but it did not work out. Sahil Jad was holding it off. BZP on the other end is spotting the entirety of GunDynasty. The chrono for the time being, will it save him? He gets into this own monster truck that was brought by GunDynasty and trying to hold it off. David on the other end trying to use his own guns to put the player down. It doesn't work out. One by one, players from Loud get taken down and GunDynasty get eliminations raked up. Hit it to 21.
They tried to save David, but the blue zone hurt too much. Attempted Grand Theft Auto by Loud. Punish. In the loss of GD, Russia getting tagged from afar. Benel and Shiru, both going big. Circle closing,
top set में रहना पड़ेगा.
EVOS now on the aggression. Inching closer and closer to a GD. This is great for BRU and TAG, and I believe we've seen this before earlier today.
Just like what EVOS ended up doing on day 1, instantly showing why they're the defending champions. Now they're closer to one more for themselves. However, GunDynasty, they do not want to give them a chance. They want to make sure this last game, everybody gets to know their name once again, just like they made it on day 1. Chrono being used, EVOS get closer, damage being done, and that chrono will protect GunDynasty for the time being.
The circle is moving, BRU calls dips on that. Team Apex Gaming staying behind, but the last 2 times they did that, they won the round.
Yeah.
But this time, they have one lesser member. They don't have KD guard with him. But they still have Shoto.
Every time fight breaks out between 3 teams, it's always Team Apex Gaming have an advantage. So they want to wish EVOS and Buriram go fight against each other, but it looks like EVOS have their clear intention of who they're going to take this fight against.
EVOS clearly had the numbers advantage. The Blues are starting to hurt TAG, forced to take the long road. That's going to cost them some help. Wasana already waiting in the flank. The point guard of BRU in this encounter. EVOS pushes forward from the side, held back by Moshi. ABAX needs to get something done right now. Can AimGod break it open? Shoto certainly does. As he takes down the young prince of BRU, Woven finds one onto EVOS. ABAX responds, but it's on to Moshi. That's the execution right out in the open. BRU seems to be the target. Shoto gunned down by Russia, but moving picks him back up, drops the dough. TAG are so close.
Another opportunity for them. Team Apex
AG versus EVOS, guys, come on.
But they have a lot of hopes with the aggression they would want to convert on. With the damage being done, nice shot coming in from MGod, falling through. Wolverine, the last man, is the savior. Can he do something brilliant?
Oh,
MGod
shit.
says no and shuts them down. And that's going to be EVOS, your defending champions of EWC. Looking forward to making sure they have a statement at the
अच्छा
end
खेला था
of Group A
कोई नहीं
games.
चलो गाइस
The back Booyahs.
स्ट्रीम को पेंट करते हैं मिलते हैं आप लोगों से कल बाय बाय एवरीवन
EVOS have made
बाय बाय
since 25, since they hoisted that trophy, they have been on a slump. People were wondering.